What's up, Fantasy Champions? Spotlight Sports Network is excited to tell you about an amazing deal from Thrive Fantasy, your place for daily fantasy sports and esports. Right now, with promo code SS Network, Thrive Fantasy will match up to $50 of your first deposit. So go to thrivefantasy.com and sign up now with promo code SS Network. That's thrivefantasy.com, promo code SS Network.
But I know that's just in my mind. I know everything is just in my mind. Do you really want to be famous? Do you really want to be a superstar? Do you really want to get dangerous? Do you even know where the groupies are? Bitches out here be...
Welcome to Hammer's house.
Welcome to another edition of the Turn 2 podcast with me, Hammer from Hammer's house. Jake will be joining us shortly. We're here tonight for Tuesday night baseball between the New York Mets and the Chicago Cubs. The Mets come into tonight in first place in the NL East with a 7-4 record, and the Chicago Cubs are in last place in their division. I believe they are 3-9. Not a good way to start the season for them, but some of us kind of predicted them to be bottom of the barrel in that division anyways. Before we get into our game of the night, we are going to start off with some of the scores from the games that are currently being played and games from earlier today. In our earlier matchup, the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Seattle Mariners 1-0. Currently, we have in the bottom of the fourth inning the Chicago White Sox ahead of the Cleveland Indians 3-1. Top four, Minnesota and Oakland. Oakland is up 2-0. In top of the fourth in the Bronx, you have the Atlanta Braves ahead of the Yankees right now, 1-0. Top three in Cincy, the Arizona Diamondbacks are ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, 3-0. And the top of the third inning, the Baltimore Orioles in Miami with the lead of 4-1. Middle of the second inning, we are scoreless in Philly between the Phillies and the San Francisco Giants. Middle of the second, scoreless in DC between the Nats and the St. Louis Cardinals. Middle of the second, scoreless between the Boston Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays. So the matchup for tonight is between Jake Arrieta and Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker had two starts so far, both no decisions. He's pitching with a 2.67 ERA, 12 strikeouts. Not too bad, just lacking the run support. But, that's typical Mets. Sorry. We're going to go into the lineups momentarily. So for the Mets tonight, we have Brandon Nimmo leading off in center field. Francisco Lindor batting second at shortstop. Dom Smith batting third in left field. Pete Alonso, cleanup at first base. Fifth, you have Michael Conforto in right field. Sixth, Jeff McNeil at second base. J.D. Davis batting seventh at third base. James McCann catching, batting eighth. And on the mound for the Mets is Taijuan Walker, who is batting ninth. For Chicago tonight, we have, now I got to go through their actual names because these are teams I'm not fans of. You have Ian Happ at center field leading off. I think I just messed up. Hold on. Bear with me for a sec, guys. No, it's not it. Hold on. You have Ian Happ in center field leading off. You have Wilson Contreras catching, batting second. Anthony Rizzo batting third at first base. Chris Bryant at third base, batting cleanup. Jock Peterson in left field, batting fifth. Javi Baez, shortstop, batting seventh. Jason Hayward, right field, batting eighth. And who is this last one? Eric Sogard, batting eighth. Where am I? thing is acting up right now. And Jake Arrieta pitching again. So the tail of the tape between the pitchers right now, like I stated before, with Taijuan Walker, he's had 2 starts already. He's got 2 no decisions, batting with an ERA 2.61, a WHIP of 1.16. He's pitched 10 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 12 strikeouts, 5 walks. Jake Arrieta, 2-1, 3.18 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 17 innings pitched. He's averaging a hit per inning. He's got 17 hits, 14 strikeouts, 5 walks, and 1 home run. Should be an interesting game tonight. 6-9. Same thing, BL. Your team is still in the bottom of the cellar, bro. Sorry. But thank you for joining. Appreciate it. So, again, we're waiting for Jake to come on in. The first pitch is about 5 minutes away, as this game is being nationally televised on ESPN tonight. But, the night off, I took advantage of doing baseball, and go figure, it's me covering my New York Mets again. So let's go Mets. BL, don't be mad when your Cubbies lose tonight. It'll be okay. Hi, Tight. How you doing, buddy? Trying to see if there's anything to pull up for you guys before we get into the start of this right now. But as of right now, again, the Mets are 7-4, Cubs are 6-9. The Mets away record, they're 3-3 right now. The Cubs have a home record of 4-5. Trying to see if there was anything else. Knock it off, Titan. Last 5 opponents, the Cubs have won 2 of their last 5, while the Mets have won 4 of their last 5. They've played less games than most of the teams in the league right now. I believe it's 4 less. We had the COVID situation to open up the season against the Nationals. There are a couple of rainouts, but they made them up in double headers. So right now they've played 4 less games than most of the other teams, but do sit on top of the mountain right now in first place in the NL East. Looking at highlights right now, bottom of the 4th, the White Sox are up 3-1. They're just showing Jose Abreu with a home run. And now looking at the highlights of the Dodgers and Mariners. And again, this had to have been a good game. Both teams were in first place in their division. The Mariners were shut out. It was 1-0. And again, it's a surprise to see the Mariners in top of the AL West. But we'll see how long that lasts for. Guys, we are 2 minutes away from the first pitch. Not a problem, Dennis. Definitely appreciate you coming in. We will definitely talk some more football at some point, but now we're doing strictly baseball. But before I begin strictly baseball, this Saturday night, UFC 261, you have 3 championship fights on the card. Me and Jake will be coming to you live. I believe we're going to be starting at 9:30 Eastern time, so that is 6:30 Pacific time. Would love for you guys to come on in. For those that are big MMA and big UFC fans, you don't want to miss. This is the second one in the last 3 months where we've had 3 title fights on one card. So it's definitely something you guys do not want to miss out on. So definitely catch us this coming Saturday night for that big event. So right now, they're breaking down all these postponements and all these games suspended or postponed for the Mets since the season started. Even this past weekend, they had a game in Colorado that was postponed due to snow, and they took the split of the doubleheader the very next day. It's been a rough start, but they're still doing what they need to do. This season, the Mets batting average is .246. They're 8th in Major League Baseball right now. Batting average with runners in scoring position, 194, 26 in MLB. It's always been the Mets' Achilles heel, but hopefully that will turn around very, very soon. Starting lineup, I already gave to you guys. Nimmo should be approaching the plate momentarily. We are ready to go. I'm just waiting for my partner in crime to show up. They're doing a breakdown right now of Jake Arrieta. He's 2-1 in 3 games this season with a 3.18 ERA, 17 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 5 walks with a whip of 1.29. He's a 2015 NL Cy Young Award winner. He's had his ups and downs. He was on the market this past offseason. Not everybody was too sure where he was going to go. Yankees was one of those teams that was talked about. The Phillies was another team that was talked about. And he ended up returning to Chicago. So we are moments away from the first pitch. We're moments away from the first pitch. Actually, it should be starting like now. Current field temperature in Chicago at Wrigley Field right now is 37 degrees. The wind chill, they said, it makes it feel like it's below freezing. This is not baseball weather, ladies and gentlemen, but we will be going a full 9 innings, weather, any other weather permitting. So here we go. Brendan Nimmo steps into the box, and the first pitch underway. It's a curveball, 91 mile an hour, taken for a ball. Brendan Nimmo this year, 1.069 OPS, 204 OPS plus. His batting average is well over 4 right now, and he's taken a lot of walks. Another inside pitch, 92 mile an hour for a ball. Brandon Nimmo's batting 447 batting average with a 1.070 OPS, 2-1. The last pitch was a 90 mile an hour sinker. There's a pitch by Arrieta. Inside, but it is called strike. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the left side. That was another. He's throwing a lot of. Arrieta's just thrown sinkers. These first 5 pitches have been just sinkers. The 2-2. Low, 87 mile an hour. Full count. That was a 87 mile an hour changeup. Jake will be in here shortly, Anthony. What's up, Key? How are you? Jake's running a little late, but he will be here tonight. Don't worry. 3-2, swung on and missed by Nimmo. There's 1 out. Arrieta picks up a strikeout. Whew. Coming to bat now is the newly acquired shortstop for the Mets, Francisco Lindor. Takes an outside pitch for a ball. 564 OPS, 62 OPS plus, 189 batting average with 2 RBIs on the season. It's the pitch. Right down the middle, swung on and missed. Strike 1. The 1-1 to Lindor. Inside, called strike. It was definitely a ball. 1-2. Lindor calls time. Steps back in the box. The 1-2 to Lindor. Swung on and hit right back to Arrieta, who throws it to Rizzo for the second out. And that one was straight back to him. All right. Now up, left fielder Dominic Smith takes one low for a called strike. Don Smith batting .229 with 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, OPS .699 with a 91 OPS plus. Low inside, called for a ball. 1-1. Wait, what are you talking about, Mike? The 1-1 to Smith. Swung on. Hits to left field. And Jock Peterson takes the line driving. That's the third out. No hits. No runs. 0-0 in the middle of the first. Due up for the Cubs is Ian Happ, Wilson Contreras, and Anthony Rizzo. About to call my buddy in a second. If you go on the MLB app, it shows all of last week's games and is not currently updated. I'm not surprised. That's why I'm looking at MLB, but I'm really not. I'm kind of looking at the ESPN.com. I try to stay away from some of like the main sports apps like MLB, NBA, all that stuff. ESPN is always my go-to. I practically wake up. I used to wake up to ESPN every single day. So let's get a hold of Jake and see where he's at. He's on his way. So as we're sitting here and we're at break right now between innings, I'm getting something, some news in regards to the New York Mets. The New York Mets tweaked their rotation before their series against the Chicago Cubs, giving ace right-hander Jacob deGrom an extra day of rest. deGrom was slated to start Thursday at Wrigley, but the two-time Cy Young Award winner was moved back to Friday's home game against the Nats. The change puts Joey Lucchesi back on regular rest and after the left-hander threw 55 pitches while working 3 innings during the loss to the Rockies in the second game of the doubleheader on Saturday. So good news, bad news, I guess. I guess good news for Met fans as Friday night is supposed to be whiteout and Jacob deGrom will be starting for the Mets. So should be interesting. All right, Taijuan Walker started 2 games, no decisions, 2.61 ERA, 10 in the third innings pitched, and he's ready to start off right now against Ian Happ. Ian Happ so far batting 167 with 1 home run and 1 RBI, 539 OPS. That's crazy. Inside pitch, 94 mile an hour, called ball. 2-0. The 2-0, right down the middle for a strike. Two one, called strike. Check swing. Full count. I don't, bro. I'm watching it on ESPN, and when I'm not, I use apps. I don't use and that's an inside pitch, ball 4. Hap is on first. I have an app, but the app that I use is strictly like it's TV plus all the sports packages and stuff. I don't use the MLB app to watch games. And when I'm home, it's either SNY or if the game's on ESPN like it is right now. So now batting right now is Wilson Contreras with Hap on first. There's a pitch by Walker. Fastball on the inside, called strike. Oh, wow. Neil Walker has announced his retirement after 12 seasons in the league. 267 for his lifetime with 149 home runs. Wish you all the best, man. Low pitch. Stopped by McCann. Ball 1. Wilson Contreras batting .273 with 5 home runs and 8 RBIs, 1.021 OPS with a 180 OPS plus. Yeah, there's an app that I have on the phone and an app that I have on the Fire TV that I use. It's better than having cable, realistically. Late swing by Contreras, hit foul, 1-2. Hap was trying to go for the hit and run right there. Fail. Contreras steps back in the box. Walker looking over his shoulder. The 1-2. High, called ball. Walker looking back at first base again. Contreras steps out of the box, steps back in. The 2-2 to Contreras. Strike 2. Oh, wait, that was 3. Even ESPN was a little confused. Contreras just struck out looking. Still a runner on first base with 1 out. Even Walker was a little confused. Like, that was 3, right? Oh, okay. Now batting Anthony Rizzo. Walker tries to go for the pickoff, and Hap is back safe at first. It's a pitch, swung on and missed. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Anthony Rizzo batting .250, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, 850 OPS, 134 OPS plus. Oh, 1 right down the middle, call for a strike 2. Inside fastball called for a ball. 1-2. They're showing the highlight from Sunday night's game. Anthony Rizzo was chasing down Freddie Freeman and was mic'd up and was shouting his name when he got him out. That was pretty awesome. 1-2 count to Rizzo. Runner on first base with 1 out in the bottom of the first. We are scoreless. The 1-2. A liner to center field. Nimmo grabs it. Tries to fire it back to first, but was slightly shy of getting Hap. 2 down. Chris Bryant coming up to the plate. Yeah, Nimmo and Chris Bryant batting .265, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, 1.021 OPS with a 177 OPS plus. Pitch right down the middle called strike. It was a slider inside. Yeah. I wish that they had that stuff here, but like with my cable provider, I don't think they do. So I just stick with what I have on the phone. Or I use like certain sites that people are putting me onto this past season. The 0-1. Brian gets underneath it and it's fouled. 0-2. 2 outs. Hap still on first base. Bottom of the first, we are scoreless. The 0-2 swung on and missed by Bryant. So there's Taiwan Walker's second strikeout of the night, and we're at the end of the first inning with the Mets and Chicago Cubs scoreless. I think we're going to use something else to count the outs from here on out with this. Oops. I want you guys to hear that. I see people are following the new page. So due up for the Mets going into the top of the second inning is Pete Alonso, Michael Conforto, and Jeff McNeil. Trying to see which one I want to pull up for you guys, which one is most accurate. But I think, you know what? I think MLB.com's is a little more accurate right now. So let's remove this one. We'll share this. There we go. Hopefully that stays up to date. You guys should be good with that. I'm still waiting for my guy to get in here. Inchia. They're promoting Sunday Night Baseball. It's going to be the Padres versus the Dodgers and another crazy matchup. You saw that Tatis Jr. returned after being on the IL. And now we're back with Alonso, who takes the first pitch deep, and it is caught by Hayward for the first out. Now coming up right now is Michael Conforto, the right fielder. Conforto is in the last year of his contract with the Mets. He's been struggling from the beginning of this season. Outside pitch by Arrieta called for a ball. Inside pitch call for a strike to Conforto. The 1-1 to Conforto. Inside, called ball. 2-1. I feel like Arrieta is just forcing to throw the next pitch right after the other. The 2-1 over the plate, swung on and missed by Conforto, 2-2. Jake Arrieta's first 3 innings to start this year is 4.00 ERA. Check swing, called ball. Full count to Conforto. 1 out. Full count. Inside, called ball 4. Conforto has made it to first base. Looking at highlights of, I believe that's the Twins and A's. And Mitch Moreland has 2 home runs for the day. And another one by Matt Olson off of the right foul pole. Good Lord. Jeff McNeil is now at bat for the Mets. The pitch on the corner, called strike 1. Jeff McNeil batting 176, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 5.87 OPS. The 0-1 to McNeil, right down the middle, swung on and fouled to the left. 0-2. Appreciate it, College. What's up, Landon? The 0-2 to McNeil, swung on and fouled behind home plate. The 0-2 to McNeil, swung on, deep right field. Jason Hayward there for it. Caught, out number 2. With that wind out in Wrigley Field right now, it is going to be very hard for anybody to try to crack one over the wall tonight. Any other ballpark, that probably would have carried out. So now batting JD Davis, batting 300, 1 RBI, 717 OPS with a 107 OPS plus. First pitch to JD Davis, outside, called ball. The 1-0 to Davis, called strike one. The 1-1 to Davis, swung on and missed, strike two. The 79-mile-an-hour curveball. That thing really dipped. Jeez. One, two to Davis, swung on and fouled to the right. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm like looking at the comments mad late. The 1-2 to Davis, outside, called ball. Contreras just tried to throw it back to first, and Conforto was safe at first. I think everybody is, bro. It was in the 60s today. It was gorgeous, but tomorrow it's supposed to pour. So this season, Jake Arrieta has thrown 58% of his pitches are sinkers, 20 slider, 20 curve, and 3 changeups. Well, we saw that in the first inning. He threw a lot of sinkers. I guess that's his official go-to now. The 2-2 to Davis. Outside, called ball, full count. Full count, 2 outs with Conforto on first base. The payoff to Davis, down, and that's ball 4. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. Jake Arrieta in the second inning has already thrown 32 pitches for the night. Now coming to bat is catcher James McCann. Pitch to McCann. Slider called strike one. Damn, bro. Stay warm. Jake Arrieta's thrown 19 pitches this inning alone. The 0-1. Short pitch. Stopped by Contreras for a ball one. Lucky that he stopped that. That would have been extra bases. McCann batting 258 with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 658 OPS with an 85 OPS plus. Runners on first and second with 2 outs, 1-1 for McCann. The pitch, right down the middle, swung on, deep center field. That's caught. That's the end of the top of the second. We are scoreless. 2 base runners left on. We are scoreless going into the bottom of the second. Let me fix this. Both teams tonight definitely need to consider playing small ball. It's just wind in Chicago. The ball is not going to be carrying for anybody tonight. It's going to die real quick. Just had to give you guys a little commercial since we're at commercial right now. For those that are in here, make sure to check out the links in the descriptions, like, follow, and hit the bell. Get those notifications. You could always jump on in when we are live. Let's see who we have due up. This half of the inning, we have Jock Peterson, Javi Baez, and Jason Hayward coming up next. Everybody in Chicago right now is bundled up in hoodies, blankets, winter coats. Man, I don't feel bad for them right now. I would not. This is one thing I don't like to do. If the season just started, I try to avoid the ballpark because I'm not trying to freeze out there. So Jock Peterson is up at batting 149 with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 541 OPS with a 52 OPS plus. Peterson steps into the box. Walker sets the pitch. Ball 1. The 1-0. Curveball called strike. The 1-1. Swung on behind the plate. McCann tries to go for it, but it is in the stands. Strike 2. Where these dudes are at, man. Killing me tonight. Walker with that 95 mile an hour Swung on and missed by Peterson. Strikeout number 3, 1 out. Looking at a highlight of the Boston and Blue Jays game, and Bo Bichette again with a home run over the monster. And Xander Bogaerts responds right back with a solo of his own over the Green Monster. Gio Urshela with a solo shot to tie up in the Bronx against the Braves, 1-1 in the 5th. What up, Prince? I got Javi Baez up. Pitch far outside. Didn't see the first one because they were showing highlights. 2-0. Javier Baez, 214, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs this season. He will be on the market at the end of this season. Pitch outside corner called strike. 2-1. The pitch down low. Call strike. Call ball. Sorry, 3-1. Three one, swung on, fouled. Baez falls to his knees. Full count. Three one, swung on, foul. Full count. This is the 7th pitch of the at bat for Walker. The pitch, 3-2, swung on, missed. Walker got him with that changeup. 4th strikeout of the night for Taijuan Walker. Now coming up is Jason Hayward. Whew, the spin on that. Nice. First pitch fouled off by Hayward. Hayward batting 196 with 1 home run, 2 RBIs, 555 OPS with a 54 OPS plus. The 0-1 to Hayward. On the corner, called ball. That was very, very close, though. 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on. Hits to center, caught by Nimmo, and that is the end of the inning. Going into the top of the 3rd, we are scoreless. We have Taijuan Walker, Brandon Nimmo, and Francisco Lindor coming up to start the next inning. Still waiting for my guy to get in here. I had another one. The talented Mr. Taco supposed to be joining us as well. But we're getting through this, guys. And again, for those that are big on MMA, big on UFC 261 is this weekend. You got Usman versus Masvidal 2. Me and Jake will be live 9:30 Eastern time. We'll do a our predictions. And 10 o'clock is the start of the main card. We will go right into it from there, so you don't want to miss it. 3 title fights on the card, and Long Island Zone, Chris Weidman in the middleweight division going against Uriah Hall. So it's going to be an epic event. You guys don't want to miss it, so make sure to check us out this coming Saturday night at 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Pacific Time for UFC 261, Usman versus Masvidal 2. Just waiting for these commercials and get right back to it. A highlight of the Giants and Phillies game, bottom of the third. Phillies were up 1-0. And Miller with a 3-run shot. Phillies are up bottom 4-0. Taijuan Walker walking to the plate. Taijuan Walker batting 188 with 1 home run, 6 RBIs. That's for his career, ladies and gentlemen. $90-mile-an-hour called strike on the outside. The 0-1 to Walker. Outside, called ball. 1-1. The 1-1 to Walker. Called strike. 1-2. Taijuan Walker looks like he's not even trying to make anything happen right now at the plate, but he's a pitcher, so no judgment. The 1-2 swung on and fouled to the right. The 1-2 swung on, scooped up by Bryant, called out. Yeah, I he didn't even try. Walker did not even try. He saw where it ended up, and he didn't even move. He legit just half-assed it to first base. Whatever. Again, he's a pitcher, so you really can't judge. Now up, Brendan Nimmo. Just keep swimming. His first at bat, Nimmo struck out swinging rather. I'm sorry. Nimmo swings at the first pitch. It's called strike. Swung and missed. Nimmo batting .436, no home runs, 4 RBIs, 1.045 OPS. Excellent plate discipline to start the season. The 0-1 to Nimmo. Low in the dirt. Ball. The 1-1 to Nimmo inside, called ball 2. 2-1. The 2-1 outside, 3-1. The 3-1 Called strike. Low and in down the plate. Full count, 1 out, top third. We are scoreless in Chicago. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 outs. Just second strikeout of the night. Oh, he got under that one. Now up, Francisco Lindor. Low, call ball. Lindor is 0 for 1 tonight. The 1-0. Swung on and missed around the same area as the first pitch. 1-1. So a really nice curve right there. Or change up, rather. The 1-1. Swung on and fouled off by Lindor. 1-2. The 1-2 to Lindor. Ball 2. Another breaking ball down in the dirt. The 2-2 to Lindor. Swung on and grounded. Bryant scoops it up, and that's the end of the third. Top of the third. Still scoreless here going into the bottom of the third inning. Due up, you have Sogard, Arrieta, and Happ. Jake should be here momentarily. God, I'm going to get banned again if I keep doing that and they hear the TV. So let's see what we have right now. Middle of the sixth, the White Sox are up 7-2 over Cleveland. In the top 6, Oakland is up over Minnesota 7-0. Bottom 6 in the Bronx, Yankees and Braves are tied at 1. Top 5th, Arizona is up over the Reds 3-2. Bottom 5th, all Baltimore Orioles are up 6-2 over Miami. Top 5, Philly is up 4-0 over the San Francisco Giants. Top 6, scoreless between the Cardinals and the Nats. Bottom 5, Boston is up 4-1. We have anything else? Top 2nd, Tampa is up 1-0 over KC. And earlier today, the Dodgers defeated the Mariners 1-0. So Eric Silgard at bat, first pitch high, called for a ball. The 1-0, another one high, called ball 2. Eric Silgard batting 115, no home runs, 2 RBIs, 346 OPS. Pitch low, called ball 3. 3-0. Outside, and that's a walk. 4 straight balls. We're probably going to see Jake Arrieta try to just sacrifice bunt right now with the runner on first base. It's definitely a given. Arrieta's going to bunt right now. He steps into the box. It's the first pitch. Called strike. McCann looking back at first base. The 0-1, called strike 2. The 0-2 to Arrieta. Arrieta attempts to bunt again. So there's 1 out. He did successfully get the sack bunt. Showing highlights again of the Blue Jays and, oh Lord, Blue Jays and Red Sox. 4-1 Boston. What's up, Neil? Hope all is well, man. Second pitch to Happ, fouled off. 0-2. Runner on second base for 1 out right now. We are still scoreless in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5 for Taijuan Walker. 2 outs with a runner on second base. Pitch to Contreras, low, call ball 1. The 1-0. Just low. Ball 2. Wilson Contreras is 0 for 1 with a strikeout tonight. 267 batting average with 5 home runs, 8 RBIs. The 2-0 to Contreras outside called strike 1. 2-1. 2-1. 2 outs. Runner on second base in the bottom of the third. We are still scoreless. Taijuan Walker's been on a tear. 5 strikeouts already to start the night. Here's a 2-1 by Walker. Swung on, grounded to J.D. Davis. Low throw. Sogard kept going and scored. So the Cubs take the lead and take the board 1-0. Believe that's going to be an error on J.D. Davis. That's an E5 right there.
No RBI for Contreras on the error on Davis.
.93-mile-an-hour fastball, called ball.
Takes that step back. Ball hits third. You see a lot of good third basemen actually attack that baseball. Once he takes that step back, there's no way he should take 2 steps here. Instead, he does. Now he has to rush it.
That should have been the third out. Definitely should have been the third out had he held on to that. Anyways, 1-0, 2 outs, a runner on first base. Chicago Cubs are up in the bottom of the third, 1-0. Pickoff attempt. Contreras is safe at first. The 1-0 to Anthony Rizzo. Right down the pipe. Strike 1, 1-1. Inside, called ball. 2-1. We're going to have Jake join us in between innings as we have 2 outs in the bottom of the third. The 2-1 to Rizzo. High, called ball. 3-1. Chris Bryant on the on-deck circle. Walker looks back at first. The 3-1 to Rizzo. Swung on and fouled. Full count. Bottom of the fifth. Reds are on the board finally. Diamondbacks are still up 3-2. Walker looks back. The payoff pitch. Low, and it's a ball 4. Runners on first and second. And here comes Chris Bryant. They shouldn't have scored on that. They should not have scored on that. That was just bad fielding by J.D. Davis. And Alonso couldn't hold on to that ball. Chris Bryant's up 0-1, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. McCann just steps out from home plate and calls for the adjustments for the defense. Chris Bryant steps in. Taijuan Walker has already thrown 20 pitches this inning, total 52 for the night, 5 strikeouts. The pitch outside, called ball. First pitch strikes tonight for Taijuan Walker, 6, as he's faced 13 batters tonight. The 1-0 swung on. McNeil plays the shift perfectly, and we are out of the inning. 2 left on. Sogard scores on an error. We here at the end of the 3rd inning. Chicago Cubs are up 1-0. And as we do this, let me get to it. I'll roll my brother in real quickly. Let me find... No, not yet. Not yet.
Do you like the Oakland A's? Are you a fan of the Golden Knights? Do you love the Los Angeles Chargers? Well then, my friend, you're in the right place. This is the Snake Sports Talk Show with your host, Jake the Snake Silva, brought to you by the Spotlight Sports Network.
Hi, buddy.
What's going on, man?
Welcome, buddy.
Finally, my God. It's like, can we at least get decent weather for once here in Vegas? Good Lord. It's like it's windy almost every day. It's like, damn. But, yep, everybody's all good. Jackson's good. Had to take him for at least a little bit of a potty break. And good thing is he broke the streak. He did not end up having any accidents in the house. So let's keep that streak going. So,
yay. Good job, Jackson.
But as always, thank you guys so much for joining here. As, of course, our Turn 2 podcast features and presents the Chicago Cubs taking on the New York Mets here in Wrigley Field, as it's 1-0 against the Cubs. 1-0 Cubs over the Mets, and we are ready for the top of the 4th inning. And look who decided to pop on in.
We have a 3rd entrant into the Royal Rumble.
Oh boy,
let's bring him on in, ladies and gentlemen, from the Daily Sporting. It is my childhood homie, the talented Dirty Taco.
What's going on, Taco?
Hola, Taco. I'm debating, do I just get rid of the... You know what? We're going to get rid of the game day screen. Got all of us here. This has got to go bye-byes now. And the first pitch to... Is that Dom Smith? Called ball. Taco, fix your camera. I don't see you, buddy. I think he's still trying to get his life together. We'll bring him back in when he gives me a thumbs up that he's ready.
I think so. No, he's good.
He is ready. The 1-0 to Dom Smith fouled off. 1-1.
All right. Oh, let me put, my camera's a little Hi.
Yeah, just a little. Well, that's 420, so I'm not surprised that your camera's high.
Listen, bro.
Yes, happy 420 to all of our good friends up over there, wherever you may be. Hopefully, you guys are in a safe place as well as you're celebrating. Of course, a lot of things happening on this specific day on a Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's always Taco Tuesday. Now we got 420.
Listen,
And of course, all the specific events happening as well.
they had me out and about because it's Taco Tuesday, it's 420. They need someone, and guess what? I filled every criteria. So you know what? I was the Taco Supreme for the day.
Tacos for everybody. There you go.
the 2-1.
If you don't mind, I
Go for it.
definitely would like to order some tacos. Hopefully, some with al pastor, maybe some pollo, or probably some carne asada. Anything that's good on a Taco Tuesday.
Eh?
The last guy I was just talking to in the live stream was actually from San Diego that goes to the Vegas area that does live wrestling events.
Really?
Yeah, and they're setting something up for the end of May where they're live streaming it and they're like holding a whole event outside in Vegas.
We may
And
have
I
to.
was
I
thinking
may
of
have
you
to.
guys are my friend in Vegas, Dave, but I was like, I know you're out there in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I'm out here in Vegas
Yeah.
as well. I may have to peep my head in and check that out.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. And the dude is pretty big. He has his own wrestling services. He runs it in San Diego and in Vegas. So it was actually a pretty cool show that I was on. I actually thought of you, Jake, and my friend Dave out there. So I was like, I'll give you guys the info. I told him I'd give you guys the info because I mean, let's face it, you guys are wrestling fans and you're in the area, so why not, right?
Oh, Gooley would absolutely love it. You know what's funny is I remember going to an event years ago. It was called Extreme Thing, and it was a lot of fun. And my biological father years ago, before all the events, actually used to do business with the BMX rider Ricardo Laguna, the one who actually runs the BMX course, the tracks, and all that stuff for Extreme Thing. And I do remember seeing there was a little of semi-pro wrestling that was happening on one corner bit of Desert Breeze Park because they'll have concerts everywhere. They had roller derbies, they had wrestling, they had all sorts of things happening. And I thought it was a fun event.
Yeah, and these guys are doing like hybrid events where they're trying to get like I think they have like a cannabis thing and they have that going on where they're actually getting actual events where they're sponsoring the event of the wrestling and where they're kind of throwing that in as like the subline. And because obviously we know that on social media and other places you can't advertise cannabis because it's not legal throughout the United States.
High fly ball way up into left, and what a catch by Jock Peterson.
Ooh.
Pete Alonso almost had that thing, and he's shaking his head knowing if I had it just a little bit more to the basket, that would have been a 2-run homer, and the Mets would have changed the lead.
That wind out there is killing everything tonight. Like that, if I was any other ballpark right now or other weather conditions, I would have been gone.
I mean, especially if you got wind here in Vegas, that would definitely be a goner for sure. And funny thing is, I mean, you've got Big League Dreams out here in Vegas at Freedom Park, and we do have all the replicas: Dodger, Wrigley Field, Yankee Stadium, Fenway, Crosley, and of course Angel Stadium, which I don't know why, because the Angels don't hardly ever win anymore since 2002. But
yeah, guess what? They're big money though with a guy like Trout on the field and Darvish. My God, I mean not Darvish, Ohtani.
Ohtani, yeah.
Wow. His
one's
offensive
popped up.
production is like scary.
And Contreras almost tried to make a play right behind home plate, but it does go foul and into the seats. But I'll tell you, it's a beautiful night in Wrigley Field. And of course,
Just super cold.
yeah, super, super cold. All that Chicago weather, but they don't call it the Windy City for nothing. And especially with all the
0-1
cold.
low, cold ball, 1-1.
So what do you think of Ohtani so far, Jake?
I mean, there's not really much to say about Ohtani. I know what I was going to get with him. I was going to get superior pitching. I was also going to end up getting a really good stick, which I have seen his offense be
Offense is scary.
Yeah, it is. And just the unfortunate thing is just everybody's got to get on the same page. I mean, the Mariners are first in the AL West. Really? But at least the happy thing that I can do while the A's, and by the way, speaking of it, the A's actually just won 7-0 against Minnesota in game 1 of the doubleheader in 7 innings. And we're getting ready to start game 2. But the A's, all I could say is they're on a hot streak after starting 1-7. And finally, and I can only just do this. Look right under me, and there's the asterisks sitting comfortably right down below in the standings, and I like it. I love that seat in the
Did
house.
they
still
lose like
can't get
7
over
of
the
the
fact
last
the
10 or
Mariners
something
are
like
in
that?
first.
They lost their 7 of their last 8 games.
Yeah.
And how about that? That bit them.
You know what though? The one thing I can say is who's taking over as the closer for the Athletics though?
So I think the one that was taken over closer, it's a mix-up because Trevor Rosenthal, I know, is on the IL. And also, I think they have Sergio Romo, and it's kind of like a mixture of him and Yasmero Petit. I honestly should say give Petit an opportunity because at that point, Yasmero Petit's been really good at setting innings up, but at the same time, you watch his presence as for how long he's been in the league. He knows how to close those games out. That's why I'm like, give him the opportunity to, because we were used to right-handers being closers. Left-handers were beautiful setup guys. That's why I'm like, I like Jake Diekman in the 8th or AJ Puck or any of those guys, but that's why I think he'd be perfect for the closer role.
I can't lie, as a fantasy guy, I'm seeing most people going with Diekman. Like a lot of people have gone on the Diekman train. I mean, I think the question is what the manager is going to do, and I think getting your insight of someone that watches the team, religiously, I think that's great information because for me, like I'm looking at those guys, like I don't know who's better because they both, when they get the opportunity, they can perform good, but at the same point in time, they can blow that lead, and I think that's what's the problem.
It's true. And you know what? Because for me, like the hot commodities out of that bullpen is definitely Diekman, Petit. And at times, I mean, you're going to see, you're going to see a little bit of JB Wendelken as well, really kind of stretch those innings. Sergio Romo as well. It's only a matter of time. And that's the good thing, even for all fantasy guys, just for a little bit of some insights. You have either one of those 4 in your bullpen as just guys to give you quality innings. That's going to help to boost you, especially for the close points when you're kind of on those grinding, head-to-head matchups where you need at least 1 point, if not 2.
Well, I mean, I've been rolling with Michael Kopech from the White Sox recently has been my kind of like flex guy where
I've been waiting for Kopech. Yeah, I've been waiting for Kopech to do it, man.
His potential is so tantalizing because he has that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but he has that nasty slider to go along with it. I mean, he was the whole reason why the White Sox traded Chris Sale to the Red Sox. And this kid is, I mean, I had him back, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 2019-ish, before he had a Tommy John surgery the last time when he was really balling out. And he's someone that right now they started him. I don't really see him getting more than 3 to 4 innings off the bat. But down the road, this kid has that stuff that's like number 1 ace type things. If he can stay healthy, that's a problem with when you throw that fast. And
you know what's funny? You know what's funny is because of all the flexibility that the White Sox really do have. I mean, with Dallas Keuchel, Lance Lynn, and a couple of others, I think it's doable. And this is why that I said years ago when that trade happened, I said the White Sox, don't be surprised by 3-5 years from now, they are going to be competitive because that is a trade that needed to happen to get prospects in the middle of it. Yohan Moncada, Michael Kopech, and a lot of these kids. I loved that move. And then a wild card to going and getting Eloy Jimenez from Chicago. And on top of that, I was like, yeah,
they traded Eaton to the Washington Nationals in order to get Giolito. And then they signed
Ronaldo Lopez and they signed him back. Yeah.
Like,
isn't that funny how it's full circle?
They went out this offseason and they signed Hendricks. And then you got what's his face? Oh my god, I forgot his name. Luis Robert, who's like the top prospect out in the outfield. So that's a team that's stacked everywhere. And the White Sox are a team that definitely scares me when I look going forward because they even got Lance Lynn in the offseason, who's an underrated. Like, he increases velocity and his ability to actually get people out. And I think he's one of those underrated, starting pitchers that, like, even the Yankees, I have to say it, because he was in our system when we traded him to the Rangers. Right now, we would dream for a guy like Lance Lynn to be our number 2 behind Cole. Like,
by far.
Like, so right now, when I look at a guy like Cashman, it's kind of hard for me to be like after this season, if we don't make the playoffs and do something drastic, you're definitely going to start being on the hot seat now, because you had him in our system and you let him go for J-Hap. And then after Jeoff, we've just keep going down this same line of, starting pitchers that almost could be but never are.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. And it's and kind of going through this, and after we just got through the inning with Jake Arrieta, we're headed to the bottom of the fourth inning. Still 1-0 Chicago over New York. It's absolutely interesting how just all of that becomes full circle. And it's funny because I watched Lance Lynn during the days of St. Louis, and I watched kind of him and Mitchell Boggs and some of the potentials that I thought the Cardinals would have, even when Alan Craig and David Freese were one of those guys. So it seemed like that the Cardinals were having some good potentials, had a little bit of rough patches, but at the same time, I've been liking the mechanical changes from Lance Lynn. As a wild card guy, I think he was absolutely a sleeper coming this offseason.
Absolutely. And you know who's another guy that's just like that? From the Mets, it's Stroman.
Yes.
Stroman was showing like another pitch during the preseason and spring training, and everyone was like, okay. And the season before that, when he was with Toronto, he was really showing out. Mm-hmm. And right now with the Mets, I think we're seeing him at his pinnacle. Like, this is what his prime looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And it's scary, honestly, when you look at a guy like Stroman as being like, what, their number 3, their number 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think that's what makes him very interesting. And I think that's what makes this Mets pitching staff very interesting. I think the question is if the hitting can catch up to the pitching, because they will be one of the best pitching staffs in this whole league.
I absolutely agree, and looking at it, Jock Peterson he's got a 2-1 count against Taijuan Walker, and there have been a bunch of moves the Mets have made to really bolster up their rotation. There's a 2-1 as that one's offered, and that's bunted away, but foul. It's 2-2. But when I think about it with this Mets pitching staff, you're absolutely right. It's killer. It's absolutely, to its extent, probably one of the best in Major League Baseball. But you're absolutely right. The question is, can the offense really keep up? And they do have some good power bats. And the fact that they signed Francisco Lindor to a long-term contract, you have the rising stars of Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso, Dominic Smith, lots of these young kids, and even J.D. Davis. So it really is a type of team that's going to be so much fun to watch for the next couple of years. Swing and a miss, and right on the inside on the hands, and down goes Peterson for out number 1. And what a pitch by Taijuan Walker there, and a guy who had been floating around from the league here for a couple of years, especially starting in Seattle. But that pitch right there had a little movement on the fastball, good gripping, and was able to just eat him on the inside. So we got 1 out, and digging on is, of course, the shortstop Javier Baez, who struck out in the second. 211 batting average, 4 homers, and 12 RBIs for the Cubs this year. And of course, a lot of the questions is how this offense is really going to keep up the National League Central.
I think that Walker last year was traded from Seattle to Toronto, right?
Yeah, he was traded from Seattle to Toronto because, of course, he was with the Diamondbacks initially, then goes back to Seattle, goes to Toronto, and now here he is as a New York Met.
He's been one of those guys with a lot of potential, but that's never been able to live up to what he really has, or at least what the scouts thought he had, right?
Well, it's kind of unfortunate because you think of the organization, you think of the farm system that, Seattle had. I mean, how many prospects have we had the same look? That one swung on and fouled, as that's 1-2. But like, how many have we seen? Like Dustin Ackley, Taijuan Walker, James Paxton, a lot of these guys. And it's funny that Paxton, now he's returned back to Seattle after spending years, with New York and at times, but he can't stay healthy either. Yeah. So there were a lot of prospects that Seattle, it's just kind of broken dreams for him. Swing and a miss, and what a fire pitch that was right on the corner, and he got him swinging for out number 2.
Yeah. Like Walker, I feel like he was out of that Seattle system, and I feel like that's one thing about Seattle is like, they had Felix back in the day. They have guys like this who they end up trading off because they're always trying to rebuild with prospects instead of trying to get some stable guys, let them develop, and let them carry the team. And I feel like that's the one thing that a lot of major league teams forget is that you need someone to be a leader. You need someone to take control and just not even be the best player, but at least show the way. Like, this is how we work out. This is how we take pictures. This is how we study in the film room. And I think one team that can relate to that is the Knicks with Julius Randle. Julius Randle's not the best player, but you know what? He's putting
a leader in that locker room. Yep.
Right. and that showed a big difference throughout the team. And
Julius Randle is the MVP of that team.
he
Absolutely.
absolutely is.
And it's so funny how we could look at that, and even for a franchise that was just an absolute laughing stock, because everybody has everything to say about James Dolan and just the direction that they went since Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo Anthony, J.R. Smith, and a lot of these guys. The direction that they were going, it was so unknown. But think about this with the Mariners. They signed a long-term contract with Robinson Cano. He didn't live up to the expectation. You expected playoffs. You expected all of this stuff, but the Mariners never got there because the A's were able to win more punching tickets into the playoffs. Then you have the Astros and the Angels the one time in 2014. And so...
But let's look at what they did with that. They flipped that into Jared Kalenic, who I think Jared Kalenic is going to be better than any player the Mets have right now.
I do agree.
He will be better than Lindor. And they just signed Lindor to almost $400 million. So I think when you look at the Mets and what they did, they could have had a guy that would be under team control, that would be very low as far as what the cost would be. And they traded it for a closer that is absolutely nothing to them. And they could have had guys like Britton, and they could have had guys like Ottavino that they could have signed for nothing. So I think when you look at that deal is going to be the reason why they don't have a dynasty. Because when you have a pitcher like DeGrom, and God forbid you give him a player with the potential of a Kalenic, and you keep him with the Alonso, and you spend the money on the catcher, and you get the closer, and all of a sudden now you're looking at a World Series team. And I think the Mets probably had a better share of winning World Series and more than the Yankees, because in this generation, power pitching is what dominates, not power hitting.
And think about this, and we're all. Well, we're all
DeGrom is better than anything the Yankees have had till we got Cole, and then you had Syndergaard.
Yeah,
you had power pitching.
But this is what's a funny reality, and we're all witnesses to this, because the fact of the matter is like, think about it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Taco, but after all of the superstars, Curtis Granderson, Mark Teixeira, all these guys the Yankees were able to pay, they had not been able to figure it. It's almost like a rippling effect of the Lakers.
No,
they were not
power pitching, power hitting.
Yeah,
those
true.
pitchers like Kurt Schilling, like Randy Johnson, like Pedro Martinez, like Justin Verlander, like Cole, like Strasburg. Those are the guys like DeGrom, like what Stroman could be, what Noah could be. That's when Matt Harvey, the Bat Knight, the guy the Mets hearkened with their signal that they prayed to like he was Batman. That's the guy. If he would have delivered, they would have won.
Dark Knight, my ass. That's light bright.
Familia was not familiar when it came to closing out.
Oh, and there's Jason Hayward. He was able to take second. My bad from there, but Jason Hayward takes second base on a steal. What a jump from him. But this is also a guy that even questionable for the Cubs. How long are they really going to linger on with Jason Hayward?
They signed him to big money.
Yeah, and
Jason Hayward is? He's Bryce Buxton.
Oh wow,
he's out.
That's
who
out. He is.
He's out.
He's
out.
I got to see the other side. Damn it, go up top. Damn it, because I'm looking at the one hand. I'm looking at the one hand, and I'm looking at the other that's literally pushing it. Okay, so here we go.
Bro, that's close.
That is very, very close.
I think he's out.
One finger right there. And
but he kept the glove on him the entire time when he took his hand off.
And that's right. And that's smart. That's absolutely what you should do. But when we look at this, Hayward's hand, I'm looking at the right, and it's dragging there on the base, and then I'm seeing the contact of the left. If that right hand stood on, if that right hand was staying on for as long as it could before the left.
Look, he put his finger on that to go to the other finger. Safe.
They called it safe.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, that still is the
your Yankees are in last place. Shut up.
I'm sorry, bro. I was in it. That was a cool play.
That was a very close play. Not gonna lie. Again, both of them on both sides were very smart at what they did. But ultimately, it was that hand.
That's one thing I can say about the Mets, though. Their play-by-play guys are very fair. where they'll like literally talk about like the player give credit to like, damn,
Jesus Christ. Come on, man. Here we go.
That's so
Oh, wait,
good.
we're not monetized yet. Here we fucking go.
But we're working toward
no
it.
questions.
But we're working toward it. But we're also one that's like uncut at times.
Jesus, come on, man.
Well, base hit into center field. And here comes Hayward, and he's going to chug along, and it's 2-0 Cubs.
Fucking shit.
So Eric Sogard, again, who's just been all around on the Mets today, especially with that error score and now a base hit RBI. And the Mets find themselves down 2-0.
Man, you would think that Lindor would be able to make a play on that. No, I'm just joking. Like that was definitely a good single by Sogard right up the middle.
And you know what's so funny is that Sogard originally was an A.
Yep.
But he was such a good utility guy that you could use him at any time.
Yep. You know who that reminds me of? That's like a Luis Soho type, where it's like if you're that guy on your bench, you can win the World Series. But if he needs to become a regular player, you're not going far. Like you know what I mean? It's like you need to be able to catch them at the right point in their career, where it's like before they get overvalued, but where they still are trying to show themselves up. But I still think that Taijuan Walker's been pretty well doing good in this inning. He's only given up 2 runs to the Cubs in the 4th inning, but the offense needs to show up. Like with DeGrom, the offense always seems to not be able to kick in when they need it, and I just don't understand with them getting a guy like Lindor and them already having a guy like P. Alonso, and you already have Conforto. Like, where is the offense coming from? Like, I'm just not seeing where the Mets are delivering on this consistent offense to give guys like, again, DeGrom, and as we're seeing here, Taijuan Walker only giving up 2 runs in the 4th inning. Like, where
there's the Mets number one problem.
The Mets' number one problem, and this has been a problem as long as I've been a Met fan, and that's 35 years now. Runners in scoring position, they can never capitalize. They rank right now 26th in the league, and it's just frustrating. You got pitchers like Stroh. You got Walker looks good right now. He's looked good in his first 3 starts. You got pitchers like DeGrom. These guys are not getting the run support that they deserve. Conforto, I'm daring somebody. And if there are Met fans in here right now, you can eviscerate me for all I care. He's been struggling. And you have people, he gets cold and he gets hot. I'm not signing him to a long-term deal. This is the shit that he's going to keep doing. If he keeps doing this, no.
Come on now. Perennially, he's been one of your best players. It's not even like 20 games where you can sit there and sit back and say, Conforto's not that good. I think he's one of the most underrated outfielders in the game. Like, for you to judge him on
good. The bat, it looks terrible right now.
What happened?
Did I?
Well, you know what's? Yeah, he did. But you know what's funny is that you mentioned that with his stick, because the fact of the fact that Conforto, like, I think it was like 2017 or so, that he was really on a good streak with the bat.
Right.
Like, he was staying solid, staying patient, and was able to just turn on a pitch when he knew he had it.
Last season, he wasn't that bad, though.
Oh, Lord.
That was 60 games. So I'm not counting last season for anybody.
So you're saying that you're not counting games that players played? Is that what we're doing now?
60 games ain't shit.
Yes, I agree. You can't scale it.
I agree.
But at the same point in time, they played these games. And you know what it shows me? It shows me heart. It shows me conditioning. It shows me players that understand where they're being pitched and how to hit. Because guess what? Baseball is not football. It's not all about your physical attributes. It's about you understanding what the other player is doing to you so you can counter it. Because with pitchers, it's a lot about sequencing. It's about tunneling. It's about, I'm going to show you the fastball, but I'm setting up my curveball to be my, out pitch. And I think that's the difference.
In this game, like life, is always constant adjustment. How are you preparing for every pitch that gets thrown to you? So that's where ultimately every single one of these batters, to find consistency in that, you have to constantly adjust. You have to get comfortable in that box enough for you to really be a threat offensively against any opposing pitcher.
Hey, Taco, what did last season teach you about Judge and Stanton?
You know what it taught me? It taught me that Glaber Torres right now is kind of something that's frustrating to me. I think that when you look at a guy like Stanton, he performed in the playoffs, but Judge right now, yeah, he's been experiencing some injury concerns. The one thing I can say about Judge is that he plays solid defense out in the field, but I don't think he's as good as that people push him as. Like I said on Twitter, and like I'll push earlier, I would have traded Judge for a guy like Lindor for the Yankees based on the way our team is built. But with that being said, I don't mind a guy like Judge and Stanton because I think both of them are great players.
If the time
question
comes
now
for
is
Judge's long term, would you sign Judge long term as a long term right fielder or a long term DH?
Absolutely, you can sign him as a long-term right fielder because of the arm that he has out there, and he can definitely throw anyone out at any point in time. Plus, of the fact of his height being able to get those balls at the wall. So I think his defense definitely puts him in a position where I can not worry about putting him out on defense with his offense having that prodigious power. My biggest problem with him is that he doesn't hit for consistent average, and because he's so big, those strikes at the knees are definitely a problem for him. So long term, yes, I probably would sign him if I don't have any better options. Like if it's in the same offseason where Bryce Harper is available, it might be easier for me to sign a Bryce Harper over a Judge. But more than likely in the offseason, you're not going to see anyone on the level of a Judge. So I would probably sign him if I'm the Yankees. And you have to play that out just based on the way the contracts work out. So, I mean, I think Judge is signed for another year or two. Same thing with Glaber. So these are guys that I kind of just hold because their value on the contract for being so young is so good. So, yes, I would sign Judge.
Walker with another walk, and now the bases are loaded with two outs.
Wilson Contreras.
The pitching coach is coming out to talk to Walker right now.
It's
He's probably going to be
early.
out soon. He's already thrown 85 pitches. We're here in the fourth inning.
And
Cubs are up 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth. There's a good chance he's probably going to. Yep. They got someone warming up in the bullpen right now.
At least there's 2 outs.
But the thing of it is, you're in a position like this with 85 pitches. Location matters. If you are not locating your pitches within that strike zone, that is where that pitch count will double up.
Wait, Walker's facing Contreras?
Yeah.
Yep. Bases loaded.
Well, Contreras has been on fire this season. He has 5 home runs.
And this is where this is going to be a
RBIs.
bad situation as you see Zellman getting warmed up into the bullpen. But this would be a bad situation for him if he does not get out of this inning.
Wilson Contreras with bases loaded, batting .372, 16 for 43 with 3 home runs and 45 RBIs. First pitch called on, strike.
261, 5 homers, and already
like a two-seam fastball just tending away on him right there because that looked beautiful the way
that was
a
two-seam
at the zone.
And that's the funny thing is he has the control, but it's the location part that really is the adjustment.
Middle out. Like if the guy is looking outside with the way that pitch was, he can take it the other way and get a simple single. But nowadays people don't look for that; they look for the home run
outside.
Sitting back and cocking back, more up.
Because to me,
if I got walks, oh my god,
5 walks, including that one with Jason Hayward where he stole second and scored in on an RBI
again. Called ball 2-2-1.
Look at he has a lot of movement, but he can't get it in the zone. That's the problem.
This is what's funny. He's throwing that right pitch, but if I got Contreras in 2 strikes, my location is I'm throwing that slider just low mid and away. Get him to chase after that thing and get him to throw the bat out.
Why not go up and in with the fastball, like right there, like he did?
And that's a good one right there.
That is exactly where I would go. And I would go there with at least my first 2 strikes, and then I would set up either a curveball or a slider underneath. And if I don't have that, I would at least lower the fastball to at least the middle central, but I'd still keep it on the inside, so he has to turn on it quick. Because I think that's a big problem. He's not making him have to react quick. And when you pitch it inside, you get that.
Or if even with that,
low called ball 3. Full count.
That was a good pitch.
And the other part that I would even consider too, because that 2-seam fastball, consider the low and in right toward the knees, close to the shins. If you punch that corner, that's one that really makes batters lock the most. And he'd have no choice but have to end up looking at it. Or if he takes that risky swing and hoping he's going to make contact.
And
The
it would set
payoff
up
pitch.
future hitters for being able to want to look at that because he's already shown it. That's the thing about pitchers. If you show a pitch like that, all the other hitters behind you are looking at it. So now they start anticipating that sequence. And if you start changing that sequence, you do it. Because look, you almost had Contreras there, but you didn't.
Yep.
All four and another run.
So another walk and another run comes in. So Chicago add another RBI for Wilson Contreras. And you know what's funny is that same location was almost as if Contreras was going to find that to be a hit by pitch by how close his elbow was on that pitch. Yeah, just seeing it, that check swing and then a little slight bat flip on the way to first.
Oh, he's mad. Why are you mad, bro? You're walking everybody. You have 91 pitches in the fourth.
And he's out. He's thrown out.
Well, he's already been kicked out of the game by the manager by, going to the bullpen.
And it's a sign of frustration because, again, this is location stuff.
Yep. It's not him. I don't think that the umpire was bad in this instance.
No.
I don't think the umpire missed any calls for Walker to be upset.
No.
You?
No, and yep. See, and this is the kind of thing that managers understand this, but in Taijuan Walker's position, your location was off everywhere. You have the control of the pitch. You have exactly the pitches to throw, but the locations were not showing it there. And it's clear that when you see the locations of those pitches, they're not anywhere in that strike zone, no matter what, because this is one thing. If a pitcher has to understand this, you cannot always rely on the umpires to set up strikes for you. Not all the time. You have to be muscle memory of knowing where the box is, find the location, and get control and execute the pitch. It's like in the NBA, because I cannot stand this. They expect, these refs to get foul calls on some of the smallest things, and it doesn't work like that. Not in playoff basketball, because they swallow the whistle majority of the time. You have to be playing this thing by instinct.
And it's the same thing with baseball sometimes with some of these guys that have that great swing and the miss where they throw the pitch, but their whiff rate is absolutely insane because they get the movement on that curveball or their slider. Guys like Glasnow and Kershaw perennially. And I think that's the reason why these guys are so great is because they're able to give that optical illusion. And I think baseball is the greatest equalizer as far as skill goes because it's only a fraction of a second difference between like a fastball and slider.
Hammer. You seen Anthony Brisky was asking where I was at earlier? That's Teddy Brisky's brother, right?
Stop.
I'm not joking with you. That is Teddy Brisky's brother.
Wow. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. And and he when he plays softball with it, he's got freaking gigantic hands. Plays first base. He's not
hands.
Yes, he does. He is not afraid to get in front of somebody, and especially when he slaps you on the back, it's like,
put your back into it.
Love you, Brewski, if you're still here, man.
So we got Robert Gesellman in now for the Mets.
So Robert Gesellman coming on in for the Mets. But yeah, all of this stuff, like I play softball with him as well, man, and all of this stuff he gets, the gloves and the bats, that's all been provided by Teddy.
Oh, that's you know what? One of the guys that was just on a live stream is doing an amateur wrestling event in Vegas, where like they have
nice
at like the MGM, not the MGM, but one of those. I want to say Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, Mandalay Bay.
It's like they're doing it with like a cannabis thing on like May 22nd or something like that. So I'm just spreading the word because I was on with him and like it was pretty cool. But they're doing like an independent wrestling event where they have like a whole bunch of guys coming out and they're like doing the whole setup. And I think it's pretty cool. And I think that's what's so cool about you guys out there in the West Coast is that you get so many cool things like that.
What's up, Titan?
Hey, big boy in the house. Titan's house. He just took your shit over, bro.
He did it earlier, too. He made a little guest appearance when we were in Spotlight Raiders talk earlier.
Hey. So how the Raiders going, bro? Josh Jacobs, #1 running back?
Yes.
Hey,
Like that. Like I mean, hey, Josh Jacobs is a complete game changer.
Miles Sanders is still a bum, okay?
listen,
But it's
bro.
okay. I love my quarterback. I love my quarterback, Justin Herbert, man.
Listen, at
Herbert
least
the Pirate.
y'all got Waller. Like at least y'all got Waller, right? Waller the baller. He'll save you. He'll save you. I mean, how much of your offensive line is already gone from the offseason? Like 3 or 4 pieces.
Oh, we did 3 mock drafts today, and that was the one thing we focused on, and we kind of focused on it more in the 3rd round.
And I nailed it on your guys' first pick too, because I said the same thing, Mooring. I said the same thing because they need help on that secondary.
And everybody's saying it
there
right
goes
now
Rizzo.
too. Everybody's saying it, and that's what we constantly did it until we did the 3rd one, and we were like, let's just try something different just to mess around with it. But like, what we did was we went with Morig for the first 2 of them as our first pick. I forgot what we did with the 2nd round, but once we got into the 3rd round, for one of them, we locked up 2 linemen. And funny enough, we took both of them out of, because we have the 79th and 80th overall pick, we took 2 linemen out of Notre Dame just because it makes sense. Like Notre Dame linemen are always ready for the league, and to have 2 of them and just already have that chemistry built with like together, I think it would make sense to do something like that.
They honestly are. And you know what's funny? I did watch a clip of a few skill players that were out of Notre Dame. Like they're like, especially just watching them, like I didn't realize one of the quarterbacks was actually from Notre Dame, and he just became successful in this league. And then you have a couple of real good tight ends, Tyler Eifert. I mean, watching him, I loved watching Carlson. I loved watching him at that time with Notre Dame because I thought he was a big-time tight end coming into that league when he came into Seattle.
Right.
I thought he was a real good kid. But yeah, offensive linemen, they are very much ready for anything. I mean, it's a toss-up now when you look at Rashawn Slater, you're looking at Christian Darrisaw, Elijah Vera Tucker. Any one of those guys will actually catch up fire. And then, the biggest hit, Penei Sewell. Who knows it? When you think about it with protection, even though Oregon does have an offensive line coach for a head coach, still develop them into big-time game-ready guys.
No, yeah, I definitely think so. But I think my biggest question right now is, how bad does Anthony Rizzo look after he just struck out with the bases loaded versus the Mets? Like, that was the one thing I was looking at as you guys were saying that, because, I mean, I definitely agree. I think offensive line is going to be the biggest question during the draft. I think Penei Sewell, I think he should go to the Bengals, but I think the question is, are the Bengals going to go with Jamar Chase because he pairs well with Joe Burrow?
No.
Or are they going to take the best offensive lineman in the class who could probably play at least left tackle or at least some sort of inside position going forward?
You have got to protect Joe Burrow at all costs.
Agree.
You could not do this with Carson Palmer. You couldn't end up doing this with Ryan Finley, and you couldn't end up doing this with anybody else. Not even Andy Dalton.
Question: what if Sewell comes out the way the Giants pick just came out?
Yeah,
and the guy's not able to pass block, and you pass on a guy like Chase, who you look at maybe like a guy like Justin Jefferson, who came out with the Vikings, because Justin Jefferson right now looks like an absolute.
My only thing is with the Cincinnati Bengals is look at the wide receivers they have. T. Higgins, he's going to be a guy that's going to come out this year. That's going to be really good.
I agree.
Also, Tyler Boyd. I've been seeing this kid. I think he's got potential and Auden Tate.
Here's one thing. I got on a Twitter debate with someone about Tyler Boyd, and what they were telling me is that Tyler Boyd is very average based on his catch perception and what his metrics are, but that T. Higgins was going to be the number 1, and they were trying to advocate to me to take Jamar Chase, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so if you're telling me that T. Higgins is even better than Boyd, and Boyd has established himself as an all-pro type wide receiver, why wouldn't you go with Sewell then? Because you give Burrow the time to get the ball downfield to these 2 guys who you already have. And if you have Higgins, who's a great value and supposed to be as good as you say, then Chase even more seems like less of the pick, and Sewell should be the pick, because I need someone to defend me when I'm trying to sit back in the pocket and pass. And I think that's the most underrated thing that's going on. My God, the Mets. What just happened?
Gone. J.D. Davis with a solo shot to deep left field. The Mets are down.
Oh, I love this
4,
call. Hammer loves it when I
3-1.
do. Hammer loves it when I do this for the Mets every time. So the 1-1 for Marietta. That one swung on, and he just crushed this thing way back in left field, and that's out of here. A solo shot for J.D. Davis, and the Mets get themselves a run, and they trail by 2.
You know
What a
remind me of?
shot.
Like
There we
the
go.
White Sox broadcasters. That's who you sound like. The White Sox low key now that Vince Scully is gone from the Dodgers.
Oh,
feel like-
dude, nothing will compare to Vince Scully.
Dude.
I can even do a beautiful Vince Scully, dude. Like that.
Oh.
That was my idol as a kid.
Yes. Like I am a Yankee fan, but I would watch Dodger games that Vince Scully was announcing just because
Just
MLB
to hear him.
is the best app that's
My
ever existed
God,
for any
JD
sport.
crushed that thing way up onto that scoreboard. What a beautiful swing that was.
But I'm shocked that Jake Arrieta is doing so good right now in his debut. Well, not his debut, but in his return with the Cubs. Because even when he was with the Phillies, he really was not able to perform at that Cy Young level that he had when he was pitching with the Cubs back in the day.
I was just about to mention something about that with Jake Arrieta because knowing some of the memorable moments, a kid who was originally drafted by the Baltimore Orioles, spent a couple of years in that minor league system, then was a reliever, and that 2014 trade where that really paid off for the Cubs because the following year in 15, I actually did watch him pitch in spring training here in Vegas when it was a big thing for Chris Bryant, but watching his mechanics and everything else, it worked. It worked here in Chicago's system, and that's where he was the Cy Young Award winner, tossed a couple no-hitters. It was a guy that was just filthy. And for him to walk away to go and take that 3-year deal with Philadelphia, it was not the same. I was questionable.
The Cubs should have just gave him that money, though. Like
that's what I kept saying. Gooley says that because even Gooley could agree. He was like, we should have never let him go.
Yeah.
We should have just paid that money, damn it.
Yeah. Because you know what? Yes, he's not the best pitcher sometimes, but you know what? He's a guy that can grind. He's a guy that does
effect that it hurt them because then eventually Lester was gone,
Look at
Cole
him right
Hamels
now.
was gone. Yeah. Like all the and see, that's the difference when we watch Taijuan Walker and Jake Arrieta. Look at the presence and the control and location that Arrieta's throwing.
Look at that slider. He set it up like a fastball and just moved right out the zone. And they had to swing at it because guess what? When it's that close, you know what? If it looks like a fastball, I got to swing at it because you're throwing strikes.
And what's funny about that is there's the difference between pitching 93 pitches and pitching only 76.
Yeah.
That is what's crucial.
He was heavily relying on that sinker tonight, too. Like from the start of the first inning, his first 5 pitches in the first inning were sinkers. Like,
and the only guy I can think of playing baseball that can handle kale. I mean, he does kale, he does yoga, he does all these.
That's
nice.
He does all these like, was it like plyometrics or something like he does he does Pilates. This guy, I give him props. I wish I could get onto his meal dietary and on his workouts because my God, it's like he's agile and he knows how to control it.
I think that Villar, though, for the Mets is an underrated signing. I do think that he has a lot of potential this season because of his speed potential and because you could either play him at second or shortstop, depending on who gets hurt and what you want to do on the defense, and that you could have him come off the bench, let's say in a pinch running situation, and then substitute him on defense to fill in one of those 2 spots.
But, of course, I would love to see that Milwaukee Jonathan VR. For sure. The first year in Milwaukee that was a no-namer who made a huge name for himself. Stolen bases, getting on base.
I wish I could get a rookie Keston Huria. A rookie Keston Huria would be like a dream.
You know what's funny?
Is a beast.
You know what's funny is I have a customer that I clean his pool, and one of his nephews is Keston Huria.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I got
Everywhere
one of his limited rookie cards.
Yep. Like I told him, I said, hey, I was going to ask him, I'm like, Keston's getting more playing time now because he might be going to short with Orlando Arcia in Atlanta.
Bro, the Brewers system, I don't understand what the Brewers are doing. Let's just put it like that.
Oh, Lord.
But the Reds, though, I think we were talking about them as possibly being the worst in that division. Can we give them some props? Is what they've done. That offense.
Well, there's a bouncer, and they tried to make a throw and could not end up doing it. And Contreras just could not get to VR's taking second base on that bouncer right in front of him. So we got a runner in
his hand now, like something's up.
I mean, it was actually an okay block, just hitting right there.
The Mets got to score here, though.
Yeah,
they got to score here. You have.
They have to start a rally right now.
Right now, you have to score. If you don't score right here, it's deflating to the team.
2-0.
Yeah. Right. That was a beautiful pitch, though, by Arrieta. It's a good hold by the batter. Like, that pitch was on the inside and just rolled right outside. And that was a great hold. Who's at the plate?
Nemo. He's already struck out twice tonight.
This is my guy. Oh, my God. Please get a hit.
Mm-hmm.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, my God,
I actually loved watching Brandon Nimmo in minors when I was watching him in Cashman.
Really?
I just get a kick out of him when he gets walked. He still sprints to first base. I think that's awesome.
I don't understand how the Mets are right now. You know what really pissed me off? Okay, so Lindor has been horrible this season. He's hitting 179. But if he was a Yankee, he'd be getting booed right now like Giancarlo Stanton.
So a good job by Nimmo to move him over, and now we've got a runner just 90 feet away and hoping to at least cut this deficit to 1.
Stop shitting on Lindor. He's only been here 2 weeks.
See, that's the thing. I don't mean to shit on Lindor. I'm just saying, why does Lindor get monumentally more love than a guy like Stanton?
No. Why do the Padres get so much love after they just lost 2 or 3 to the Dodgers? Did you watch my segment? I'm like, slow down, because ultimately that's only the first series of this year. And then they got to go to LA to go and play the Dodgers.
Let's be honest. I think everyone knows the Dodgers are not only the best team in baseball, but they're the best team in baseball by a little bit of a margin.
And you know what? They're the most expendable team in baseball. They really are.
Great minor league system. Yeah. The pitchers that they have, they're the Rays on steroids. That's what they are. It's like if the Rays has money, that's what the Dodgers are, and that's why they're so scary. And I just honestly can't see a team beating the Dodgers this season. Like,
it's just the big thing that the fact that the Padres made all these moves, but yet the Dodgers answered back and said, "Okay, we'll pick up Trevor Bauer."
The Padres did everything the Yankees should have done.
Yes, I agree.
There is no way you let Hugh Darvish go to the San Diego Padres and you do not trade for him as Brian Cashman.
I still always call him you garbage. I still call him that, even after the World Series that never happened in 2017. I was like, oh my God.
There's no way we let you Darvish go to the Padres. That right now is the one thing I put on Cashman. And I say this: if we don't make it to the playoffs,
another big loss for the Cubs, another big loss for them.
Yeah. Like they gave him up for nothing.
Yeah,
that's why I'm so mad at the Yankees.
Lindor walked.
Like shit. If you needed, I don't fucking care who you needed. Let's get this deal done. I need a starter that can give me innings, and I need a starter that can play in the playoffs. And we don't have that. Yes, Kluber, maybe, but guess what? Give me Darvish and Kluber. Don't give me fucking just Kluber.
Right?
Don't tell me Kluber's my number 2, and I think that's why as Yankee fans we've seen the freak out.
Yeah, and think about it, because they were also, trying to rely on that bottom half of the rotation with Jameson Taillon and a couple of others that are trying to pick up.
Herman.
Yeah.
God damn it! I believe you. And you screwed me, just like you did your wife, because you did horrible. I just don't want to go that far deep in, but Herman, you were horrible. So you know what? I'm glad you're in the minor leagues. Herman is holding me down, but I hate you, Herman. Like from 2018, 2019, 2020, that's 3 years in a row you've screwed us with allegation.
And you know what's so funny about this with the Yankees offense, though, too? Because this all started back, and I'll be honest, This all started back the second that they go and get guys like Lyle Overbay, freaking Chase Headley,
Lies.
yeah,
Lies.
Brian McCann.
The biggest problem that we had is that Cashman focuses too much on the home run and doesn't focus too much on guys like DJ LeMahieu. Yes, he got us DJ LeMahieu, but we don't have enough DJ LeMahieu.
We honestly don't.
Like GT Riamuto should have been on catcher over Sanchez, and I'm the biggest Gary Sanchez stan there is. For years, I've been on my soapbox. Gary Sanchez. But God damn it, a play like that would have been monumental for the Yankees because guess what? He doesn't hit for home runs. He hits for runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
He can call a good game behind the plate. He can make that play to the opposite field when there's a pitch on the outside of the plate. And that's the play with Sanchez. Sanchez wants to hit a home run with everything. He thinks if the ball's hit inside or if the ball's outside, I can still pull this ball to the fucking home run. And that's not how the game's played. And that's why the Yankees suck right now. They don't know how to play baseball. They keep the stadium.
Well, they just don't know how to build. And because they've relied on superstars for so long, they don't know how to build.
We don't have any guys that like a Conforto, where it's like, guess what? Even if Conforto doesn't fucking hit a base, he's gonna walk.
And you know what's kind of funny is I used to say this about the Dodgers. I used to say this about their offense.
Look an amazing team.
Yeah, now they look much better because the fact of they have somebody who knows. Yeah, they now have somebody that puts their foot. Yeah. No.
In your opinion, who beats the Dodgers this season?
The Atlanta Braves. That's the only team.
They're struggling. Who's their number one starting pitcher to match up with Bauer?
Oh.
And then who's closing the game?
I think to me, for starting,
because that's the thing about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They have closing depth where they have three guys that can close. They have three guys that can be their number one starter. And their offensive lineup is insane.
I am waiting for Bruce Dark-Gratterall to just be a closer because Kenley Jansen doesn't have it anymore. Kenley doesn't have it. Like it's unfortunate, but Kenley doesn't have it no more.
I think they're setting up Urias to take that role.
Yeah, it's still 3. It's still 3-1 Cubs. BL. Yep, still 3-1 Cubs, and we're heading to the bottom of the 5th inning.
The only team that could do it is probably the Dodgers. I mean, not the Dodgers, the Padres.
Yeah, but even so, I mean,
because Machado and Tatis, when they're healthy, plus Hosmer, plus Nola, plus you have the outfield.
Look at Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham nearly executed that.
That's the only team I feel like that can compete with the Dodgers.
I mean,
I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah, I mean, them. That's why I'm saying because if there's only two teams I can think of, the Padres, the Braves. Those are the only two that I could think because the Braves have those young pieces where they have Christian Pache. They're going to have Waters up out there in the outfield. Acuna is actually having a hell of a season right now.
Oh my God.
Like I knew Acuna was going to bounce back.
If you have Patrick Corbin, who's better than any pitcher probably right now in the game, he's right there. Plus you're talking, I'm sorry. The Milwaukee Brewers is who I'm talking about right now. But their starting lineup as far as pitching goes.
Look at the history. First game in Wegman Park in 1916 for the Cubs. That's what this date marks. The first game ever played in Wegman Park.
Really?
Yeah. And then eventually makes its way to where we have Wrigley.
But I'll be honest, I think the Brewers are probably the biggest contender to the Dodgers after the Padres. I think those are the three teams that are really in contention for.
Dear Lord, what?
The Brewers starting pitching is Peralta
for what?
Burns
Woodruff
right now.
Brandon Woodruff.
Brandon Woodruff is insane right now, bro. Can we pull up some stats? Give me some. Stats.
Oh my lordy! All right, let me see. I may have to because now you're making me pull this up right now for this.
I need some Brewer because they're hitting right now, but Yelly being on the bench, I got Yelly on my fantasy baseball team, so Yelly's out.
Yeah,
that pitching, give me that pitching. Who's out? Who's there? Because between Burns, between Woodruff and Peralta, those three right now, I think they're the only team other than the Padres and the Mets. The Mets
looking at it right now, I mean, the top 5 teams you got so far in ERA.
JD Davis is fucking up right now, big time. That's the second error on him tonight.
JD Davis at third?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But he's an average player. You can expect that. Like, okay, I see JD Davis. That's an out. They'll fix that. That's fixable.
He didn't even touch the bag. What the fuck?
That's fixable. That's an out. JD Davis did his job. Don't be mad at JD Davis. He's doing his job.
He picked it up, but it was the time. It was the time that for the throw.
Oh, I think he's out on that, right?
Oh, he's out. Oh, he's out. He's out.
Yeah, he's out.
He never touched the bag.
They're not reviewing it.
Never touched the bag. Get out there, damn it!
That's what I'm saying.
Go and review it. Get the hell out there.
That's
you're gonna tell me right now that you're not
going
to get out there.
They didn't touch it. They didn't review it. That's bullshit.
Are you? Whoa! Wow! That is terrible managing. That is terrible managing because that is crucial.
Rojas needs to go.
Look at Chris Byron is smiling like you motherfuckers.
Rojas needs to go.
He's like, I was out, but he never got it. He never showed it.
But like I was saying, I think the Brewers' starting staff is a little underrated right now.
Wow.
And Yelich is not even there. I think the central of the NL is going to be something that's.
But the other part is Alonso. Why did you not turn around and tag him when he went on the inside?
Oh, he had
they both. Oh, Rojas and Alonso lollygagged that. I'm sorry, folks, but they both lollygagged.
I'm shocked that Alonso didn't say something though.
He didn't even turn around to tag him. Yeah. He went on the inside of the line. You're supposed to tag him the second they go there. Ooh. Why do you like? I'll be honest with you. Freddie Freeman will never allow that to happen. Not on his touch.
Oof. There goes the Braves. I'll tell you this: if the Braves are healthy,
good Lord,
staff needs to get it together because Fried is already hurt. Who's their ace?
Mike Soroka.
I don't. Do you trust if Mike Soroka is facing DeGrom, and then where do you go? That's what I'm saying.
Charlie Morton by the second start.
But by then you have Syndergaard. So Charlie Morton with Syndergaard.
That's true.
God forbid Stroman is pitching. I'll tell you this.
You're going to have that young kid, Ian Anderson, pitching.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, though. The Mets are probably the second or third scariest team to me for the depth of the season, only because they still have a guy like Noah Syndergaard still left to come, and they can possibly trade players for a bullpen piece. Because I feel like they're in desperate need of a guy like Hader or just like one bullpen arm where you could just like, we need someone to come in and get outs. You can.
I agree because think about how crucial some of these setup guys for lefties really were. I mean, Andrew Miller was an absolute stud, just setting the inning up. And then when you look at Josh Hader, who I really do agree, he's a setup guy. I'm sorry, but I just look at the delivery. He
doesn't have the control.
Nope. And then look at it. Sean Doolittle was at one point that guy. Jake Diekman. Yeah. Like these were guys that knew how to do it.
Even Britton, I think that's the biggest mistake the Mets made. They should have signed Britton Ottavino instead of the Yankees, and they shouldn't have traded for Edwin Diaz. They shouldn't have traded for Cano. They shouldn't have taken on that money. They should have signed free agents like that, and they would have put them in a position where they can do anything they need to do.
Taco, who were the owners at the time?
Listen. I'm a Knicks fan. Don't tell me that.
Who were the owners at the time?
Listen, I'm just saying that was a horrible move. And when we look at what's going on right now, that move is paying dividends, and it's going to be the reason why Jacob deGrom possibly never wins a championship in his career.
That's where I really do think that the Mets, this is the time to do so. Yeah. This is really the time to do so.
How much trading for Matt Chapman before you get him someone good?
Oh Lord, get your hands off of Chappie, all right? Get your hands off Chappie. We're on the road to winning 10 in a row, okay? So get your hands off Chappie.
Listen.
Talking about stats, of course, the top five.
What's up with Luzardo, though? Luzardo has not been living up to billing lately.
He's still young. And I keep
don't get
telling
what's
people
wrong
that
with him though.
Yeah, but-
What's taking him so long to develop?
I don't think he's a starter. I really don't think
Really?
he's a starter. I think he's more of a long reliever.
Really? You know who's playing
Yeah.
like that? Kopech.
Yes.
Kopech has moved to that long reliever role. And
They've
he's
got to
been
move him
dominating.
to long relief to get his mechanics right. That's why Kopech is succeeding right there for Chicago.
Well, that Tommy John surgery twice. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's twice, but I know last time I had me at Tommy John.
But this is the A's problem.
Like 101.
This is the A's problem is that they don't even invest in some of these under radar starting pitching guys. It's pissing me off now because what was the point of getting Mike Fiers?
That's a number one thing that people don't invest in. And I blame the Yankees for this because we had Lance Lynn in our system and we let him go. We kept Paxton and we kept Happ and we kept all these other guys. When fuck it, keep Lance Lynn, who's gone off to Texas and who's gone off to the White Sox and actually been a productive starter and been a top 20 starter who, even if God forbid you have him as your number 3 behind a Cole and someone else that you get, he would be so much better than what we have. And I think that's the biggest problem with the Yankees. And we're really depending on Luis Firmino. If Louis doesn't come back, we're trash.
And this is what's actually kind of fun. I'm actually kind of surprised that the A's never took a shot at Jameson Taillon. I'm very surprised at that because of the fact of just under radar guy, you could use him for the third spot in the rotation and then work your way from that, be the stabilizer.
And we're pissed at him. Honestly, the Yankees need someone that, like, honestly, Jameson Taillon needs to be a 4th or 5th starter at least this season because, like you said, he's coming back from the injury. He needs to feel himself out. And fans, we don't forgive you for coming back from injury. If you're not performing like you're supposed to perform, most fans put you under the bed.
And
now,
like we talked about before, Taco, like the Sonny Gray trade, because we get Jorge Mateo and we get Dustin Fowler, and now both of them are gone. And then including Sonny Gray, who didn't even work out in the Bronx.
But look at what the Reds did, though. They have Castillo, who a lot of people evaluate very high. The Reds even try to evaluate Castillo at the point of Gleyber Torres, which is absolutely ridiculous. But at the same point in time, that's what they did. They have Sonny Gray, and now you have guys out there like Naquin, and you have India, and you have Votto, and you have Suarez, and they're all playing well. They got Moustakas.
And Aristides, Aikido, and all that.
Yeah. And where are the Reds right now in the division? I think they might be in the top, right?
They actually are leading the NL Central.
Yeah. And we were talking about them as being one of the worst teams going forward. But
no, I told people don't sleep on Cincinnati, knowing that, with where their mechanics
last
are with
season,
the rotation. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd seen that happen because and Eugenio Suarez and a lot of these other, guys, these were small guys into the system, except for Moustakas and except for Votto. All these guys were so small in these systems. Eugenio Suarez, I watched that kid in Detroit,
but
and
for the last 3 seasons,
up.
He's been really good though.
But that's what I'm saying.
Sleepers, I can't lie.
But that's what I'm saying. Did you notice how much he changed? He was skinny as hell when he was in Detroit, and then he beefed up, and now he's actually hitting well for Cincinnati.
You're actually right. Once he beefed up, he got that little bit of power. We're like,
usually that changes. Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of funny because you think of these low end organizations. These players, when they go to these low end organizations, they change, and people are just like, why even move them? If they're comfortable a bit in this spot, why even move
the perfect example? Lance Lynn. He went from the Yankees to the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
At Texas, he was there to develop it. Now he's with the White Sox, and with the White Sox over the last couple of years, he's been dominant to go along with Giolito.
Yeah,
and
but this is where I look at the A's, and I'm just like, after Sonny Gray, we had never had the same rotation again. I really wished Jared Parker did not suffer the many injuries he had to where it was career ending. You don't even see him anymore. And
what did you get for Sonny Gray?
We got Jorge Mateo and Dustin Fowler.
Bro.
And I actually enjoyed watching Jorge Mateo in the minors. I watched him in that one game.
You know what they are? They're solid role players, and you and I both know this. They're not superstars. They're not a guy that you're going to put out as a starting lineup and expect to do great.
And
it's not like Clint Frazier. If you would have clicked Frazier, you would be like, my God, we have something. And I think that's the one thing about it. It's just like,
But you know what's so
even
funny?
the Yankees got nothing out of that. Yankees are not like winning because guess what? We trade Sonny Gray to the Reds, and then he does good with the Reds, but he didn't do good with us.
Like, let me just tell you the lineup that just submitted for game 2 of the A's. This is because I look at every single one of these guys' approaches in the box, and I also look at their swings and how they really get aggressive at every pitch. But this lineup for tonight in game 2, you have Canna, Laureano, Olson, Chapman, Moreland, Seth Brown, Andrews, Machin, and Garcia.
Chapman's hitting 6th, 5th,
Chapman's hitting 4th.
4th.
They got him hitting clean.
See,
Chapman
we
is
need
not
Chappie.
Chapman is not a cleanup guy. He's a 5-hole hitter.
Yeah.
Chappie needs to come to the
You
Mets.
know what the problem is? That he does get some walks, but he can't put the ball in play long enough. And that's the exact same thing I'm saying with the Yankees. He's like an Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is great at getting some walks.
Yep.
He'll get some home runs, but he won't get that single that's in between the first and second hole when he knows the guy running at second base and he can just bring him home. And that's the biggest problem with guys in baseball today. Is they don't
why do we not? And this is what's so interesting to me is why do we not have because I like the aggression out of Mark Canna, but I just don't see him as a number 1 guy. I've usually always seen him at 6th in the line. I know.
But that's the only reason why you probably put him at 1 is because you expect him to get on base for everybody else.
And that's the thing. But even when you look at guys like Elvis Andrews, that honestly, I would have Laureano leading off and then have Andrews pick him up because
I like a lot.
Yes, me too. And that's why I'm glad that they were able to still secure him. But when I look at that, I put Laureano lead off, Andrews second, put at least like Chapman third, Moreland fourth, because he's actually his swing as a lefty could pull.
Even if you put Chapman second behind someone else that gets on base, just to give him someone at third that walks. So that's why you're forced almost to throw strikes to Chapman. I think even if you put Canada third, you put somebody with speed at first and put Chapman at second. So you force him to throw strikes to Chapman because we know Chapman is more of a free swinger. He'll run into more pitches in that kind of scenario, but you need someone behind him that's going to take the walk.
This is why I used to love the lineup years ago in 2013 when you would have Coco Crisp, Jed Lowry, Josh Donaldson, freaking Yoenis Cespedes, Brandon Moss, Josh Reddick at 6, and Derek Norris in the 7-hole. Like, these guys were hitting, and then Sogard would be hitting 9th and reloading. You got to have that utility guy that will be playing, but that has been the problem. They do not have a guy to play second. That actually plays second defensively. That's what's hurting them.
Yep. I mean, what are you saying?
So that's where I'm just like, I miss that kind of lot because that looked stable. Why, Billy, did you have to trade for pitching for Lester? That was the most terrible trade. I went off. We were dominating everybody in the American League, including the Yankees, including the Red Sox. We were dominating everybody.
Let's be real.
Why make the move now?
Like you guys had Eric Chavez.
I said this. Samardzija, when he first came onto the A's on that trade, that should have been our ace. That should have been our ace.
Listen. Was that better than teams that had Mulder, Zito, Hudson, with Eric Chavez, with Tejada, with Giambi, with everything that they had? So, I mean, we could hate on Billy Bean all he wants. Yes, we know he's a reshuffler. Yes, we know basically at the bottom line, he's here to make sure the dividends are right for the Oakland Athletics. He's not here to win championships. He's here to make sure I can bring enough fans in to watch the games that this team makes sense.
For God's sakes, it's been 21 years though, dude.
But you guys had some teams.
Oh, we did.
But I mean, how do you have Zito, Mulder, Hudson, Tejada, Chavez all in one team and at least don't keep them together for their prime for at least?
And we actually had decent closers like Grant Balfour and Houston Street and those guys. Like, we had some decent.
You know, that team was so close. That was the team that compete with the Yankees realistically.
All we had to do was not throw that pitch to Maguila Ordonez. That was the one thing.
Madley or Donuts is one of the more underrated hitters in baseball history. Because man, could that guy hit? He could fuck. He was Miguel Cabrera without the third base.
And that Detroit team that even had Placido Polanco at third.
Yeah.
And Brandon Inge. Like, good God.
Detroit. Wow. Brandon Inge winning the championship. Is that when they had Jim Leland?
Even the A's had Brandon Inge before Donaldson could even develop for third.
Bro, that was a fucking... I'll tell you this, though. Miguel Cabrera is probably still to this day, one of the most underrated hitters in baseball history.
Good Lord, he hit a baseball out of the park in the snow.
Bro.
In right field.
And slid in the second base in the process.
Absolutely. But look at what he did when he was 18 years old to look at what he's doing at this age. Like, he is in the Albert Pujols conversation.
Score is 3-1.
Who would you consider is better, Albert Pujols or Miguel Cabrera?
God, I have to say slight edge Albert Pujols.
Ooh,
he has more championships.
But he doesn't have the triple crown.
Championships.
Does he have the triple crown? Who had the triple crown since Miguel Cabrera?
Jimmy
Baseball. Mr. Baseball. Who had the triple crown since Miguel Cabrera?
Jimmy Fox.
Think about how long that was.
I was just an amoeba.
Like, think about it.
We got to see one in our lifetime.
Who did that? That's what I'm saying. Miguel Cabrera's that guy.
Yeah.
But you would take Abreu over Miguel Cabrera?
Oh, dear God, no. Not Abreu. Dear God, no.
I mean, I'm so sorry. Miguel Cabrera.
You mean Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols or Miguel Cabrera, yes. This is why we play MLB The Show, guys.
Oh, dear Lord, you do not want the smoke. I'm telling you, man.
Listen, bro.
Telling you.
TDS right now, we do Diamond Dynasty only. I'm sorry.
Still, you don't want the smoke, man.
Bro, we do Diamond Dynasty only, bro.
Oh, God, here we go.
You still don't want the smoke.
Bro, Diamond Dynasty only.
Can we not talk about that right now? Can we not talk about game systems, please?
Bro, I mean, come on, Hammer. We're waiting for you, bro.
3, 2, and called strike 3 right at the pipe.
2 more days. I think Rojas is about to get thrown out.
Because if we both react to Diamond Dynasty, then the question is, I mean, bro, I got Bob Gibson and Pedro Martinez coming out 1-2, and I got Chris Sale and Strasburg coming out 3-4. So who you got?
You ever played MLB Perfect Inning on your phone?
No.
I had Gaylord Perry. I had Ralph Kiner.
Ralph Kiner is the illest right fielder, bro. His hitting is insane.
Facts. And it's so simple, too. It's such simple hitting.
I'll tell you this. Ken Griffey Jr. is a little overrated, and Jackie Robinson is way overrated. Well, I mean, I'm talking about MLB The Show because obviously they have the 42 program right now where everyone's at 88. I'm going to do a whole video. I think I'm going to do a whole video on just like the starting of the MLB The Show.
Rojas got thrown out.
You cannot be complaining right now, Rojas, after you just missed a crucial call that could have gotten you out of this inning. Don't complain. That should have been 3 outs already.
Oof.
This really should have been 3 outs, and you're
complaining.
Look at
Wilson Contreras. He's happy. Wilson Contreras is happy. He's like, yeah, I got lucky.
It's like stop it.
Now batting Squirrel.
Oh, my God. And the worst part, well, I mean, let's face it. Craig Kimbrell is not someone that you fear coming into the 9th inning. I'm sorry. The Cubs bullpen is probably.
I hate to bring this up, but I'm sorry, but this is not Angel Hernandez behind the plate. Okay, this is not Angel Hernandez behind the plate.
I'll be honest. I'll be happy when the MLB goes to a mechanical strike zone.
So will I.
That's the one thing that I will be happy with.
What are you going to do about the morale of the game, though?
Fuck that. Like, at the bases, yes. At plays at home plate, yes. As override calls, yes. But as the strike zone, give me the fucking zone. Because one umpire thinks that 3 feet outfield, 3 feet outside left is a strike. and the other one thinks 3 feet outright is a strike. So
Are you sure you're gonna say that to Lou Pinella's face?
yeah, yeah. I like when the zone is there. Where Lou Piniella, look, it's in the zone. Shut the fuck up. I like that because you could do that. Because it's like, hey,
I'm afraid that when I see that, Taco's going to get helmets thrown at him. He's going to probably get the bays. He's probably going to get something
that's
thrown
a
at him.
whole other situation. Is it right? That's a whole different. Like,
Al agrees with me. He says, "I love the love-hate drama."
It's
you can't take the morale of the game away. Like, I understand when it comes to having a strike zone, but we're just like life. We're not all perfect. We're not always going to have the perfect pitch.
But that doesn't matter if you have the umpire that is perfect. You don't have to worry about that, right?
If you do, listen, if
like
you
when
do,
the guy just misses the zone and gets called the ball, and the guy walks, and you're like, that's a strike. And when you go to the camera, that's a strike.
No, when I know it's in the when I know it's in the pipe, and you don't call that a strike, that is where I am staring you down straight in the face. I don't even have to say a word, but I'm staring you down because, yeah, the A's had a couple of those. They've had a couple of those that I looked at it and I was just like, what?
And you know what the worst part is? That's when you call people's integrity into question.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that is a zone that is automatically controlled.
So we head to the bottom half of the sixth inning and Mets still trailing 3-1. But I'm telling you, I watched that game against the Royals and that one player, they're like, wow, and that is a ball. What? Like, I hear Rex Hudler literally just going like jaw drop because it's down near the pipe and you call it a ball.
Man, listen, I'm a Yankee fan. You know how many years we've done with this? We're sitting there like, what's going on? And they're like, well, 40% of the strikes were called.
Whenever I would see veins out of the sides of Joe Girardi's head, bro, yes, I'd see.
Bro, and you know what? It's like, okay, we can show you an individual game. Well, that was one game. That was the playoff game that decided everything that you did that.
I still say that the greatest moment that I ever watched watching a Yankees-Red Sox rivalry was when Marcus Thames told Jonathan Papelbon to get the hell off me on that walk-off home run. Like, God. Like,
and
Jonathan Papelbon, he was Papelbon, dude. He was such a bum.
It was like, that Marcus Thames is actually our hitting coach right now.
Oh, dear Lord.
That's what's crazy about it, right? He's our actual hitting coach right now, Marcus Thames.
I think, honestly, the best hitting coach that I'd seen is Chili Davis.
I love Chili Davis. A switch hitter that was great off the bench.
My dad actually used to play spring training ball with Chili.
Chili is an all-time great.
Yes, he
is. Sorry. Because you know what? Like, switch hitters, not only are they such a rare breed, but he was a great switch hitter at that. And he did it for championship teams. And you know what? When we looked at him for the Yankees team, yes, he was not a starter. But you know what? He's the guy that could drop knowledge on those kids, that could show them the situations, that say, hey, look at that. You got that slider right there. They're going to set you up for that again. Look for that pitch. And I think that's a professional hitter Chili Davis was. And that's why he's a batting instructor right now, right? He's a hitting coach right now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is a hitting coach.
Yeah, he's just an amazing hitter. One of the best ever. Him, Tim Raines, Bernie Williams. There's Chipper Jones. I don't think we see switch hitters like that anymore.
So our game summary so far presented by Thrive Fantasy here, as we still have a 3-1 game between the Cubs and the Mets. Jake Arrieta with 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run given up, 3 walks, and 4 Ks. Eric Sogard 1 for 1 tonight, who scored in twice and got an RBI. Hayward, who was 1 for 3 and scored in, and then J.D. Davis with the only lone run for the Mets on a solo home run that he just absolutely crushed. So we're up to this point right now into the bottom half of the 6th inning on an 0-2 count with Eric Sogard checking in. So the Mets right now in a position where they really got to get this offense going, and not to mention this pitching staff from the beginning with Taijuan Walker, and here we are in the relief. They've got to be location, ground ball right over, back to the pitcher, throws, and safe. And we'll see, and we'll look at this as Pete Alonso stretched out and tried to get this out. But it looked like maybe a part of the foot ended up coming off, but we'll take at least another look on this play.
I had a question for you, Jake. Who's coming up in the next inning for the Mets? Because right now we know they're down by 2 runs. So they're definitely going to need to come up with some runs going into the top of the 7th with the back half of their lineup going on. But do the Mets really have a chance at leading off that inning with any kind of potential? Because, I mean, right now there's no outs. They already got a runner at first, and their starter or their reliever can't throw strikes.
Yeah, the relievers are having a difficult time right now just throwing strikes and, just not finding a way. Not finding a way whatsoever. And that's just what's the unfortunate thing for, that's the unfortunate thing for the Mets right now.
Yeah. And who's leading off the 7th?
So the leading off into the 7th is going to be Michael Conforto, Jeff McNeil, and JD Davis.
They need to score some sort of runs in the top of the 7th right now.
Alonso needs to learn how to put his foot on the fucking bag.
Who?
Alonso needs to learn how to leave his foot on the fucking bag.
Listen,
I think needed to catch that play earlier that they both just slept on. I'm telling you, man. Like people will tell me you're not letting that play go. I never let plays like that go because you should have done that. You should have been in the right with that because he never put his foot off, and ultimately he ran on the inside, and Alonso was not alert on that.
Look at the 2015 rookie voting, and yet none of these guys, other than maybe Chris Bryant, who right now I think is on the back end of his career, is anything of notable. I mean, Syndergaard's had injury issues, but think about that. Those are rookie of the year candidates in 2015. 5 years later, we're looking at all these guys as potential either busts or like injury concerns.
Yeah, and all these guys in 2015, I mean, there were a couple of really good notable names and some that we ran and raved. Chris Bryant at the time, and then Noah Syndergaard made his way on. And just from there, you look at it years later, and really it just asks you, what more potential will they have at least in the next 5 years? And right now, they just injuries pile up. We're not living up to the expectations. And that's just what's kind of unfortunate with this draft class.
Yeah, but also I think with the Cubs, they were lucky to catch that World Series when they did, even though Chapman really didn't deliver the way he was supposed to. They made all the moves necessary to catch that one World Series. So I feel like as a fan base,
well, look, when you were getting Ben Zobrist, who was fresh off of a World Series win with the Kansas City Royals, then you go and you sign this big money with Jason Hayward, which honestly they need to cut that off because he's not hitting. You could take his fielding, but he's not hitting. Even when we look at this, when Hammer had the conversation with Michael Conforto, like he's got a great glove to be out there in the outfield, but if he's not hitting well, it's not like why continuously linger that on. But for Hayward, this has been years now, and he has not had the same hitting approach since he was in Atlanta and in St. Louis. Yeah, that's what's the unfortunate thing for once he came to the Cubs. I guarantee you that if he gets moved, like he'll be a better hitter.
But think about it like this. If you had to take a guy like Hayward signing onto your team for 6 years after you win the championship, but you win a championship that you haven't won in 70 years, is it worth it?
No.
What? You would not take the championship and deal with that repercussions afterwards?
No,
you would keep playing for it. Give me the championship. I'll deal with it later. I want the ring I never had. Give me the ring first. Don't tell me about a maybe ring. Give me the ring now.
My God, that Rollsy from Stroman earlier in Colorado, throwing that thing over there to Alonso.
Yes, we turned 2. Woohoo.
Jesus.
Man.
Who's pitching right now for the Mets?
Barnes.
Yep.
I don't know why he's still out there, but whatever.
Barnes.
I'll be honest with you. Has Lindor, do you think, lived up to the status that all these Mets fans have given him?
Lindor defensively has looked good. Offensively, not so much.
Give it time. I don't understand why that people never give things time.
I'm not
We're in a
saying-
we're
That's,
like
that's
look, we're in
Taco.
a
That's why,
we're
because
in a-
he's a
we're in
Yankee fan. That's why.
But wait a minute, because we're in a caffeinated society. We're all just like now, but we don't even give time to process things. This is what pisses me off about some of this stuff. Like even when you look at any sport, because NFL is king. We all watch the NFL. It has to happen now. When we get into that mental mindset, we're not used to 162. We're not used to 82. We're not used to 88 games with all the other sports. We're not used to that.
But can't you say the same thing about the Yankees right now? We are just in a little bit of a slump, and we face two tough teams.
And the Yankees had to spend a decade since the 2009 championship team.
I agree. Listen. That's a whole different argument.
There we go.
The question is, should people be panicking about this Yankee team as there are 10 teams in 10 games?
Yeah, you guys always panic.
The Blue Jays, the Rays, some of the top, like, let's face it, the Blue Jays and the
the Rays always bolster their rotation and their bullpen. And then you got the Blue Jays who got these young kids.
The Rays to look at is the Dodgers. There's the only team that the Rays can look at. Because guess what? The National League is weak. They're weak. They don't do anything. The Dodgers are going to own that. Maybe the Padres, but the Mets can't even beat either one of those two.
Whatever. So, if the Yankees aren't in first place, the Yankee fans are bitching. But you guys were losing 8-2 the other night and your fans are going balls on the field.
Here's the problem that I could say for the National League, because the Dodgers are the only expendable team. Then you have the Padres who are coming up. But the other teams, the Mets have all the pitching in their rotation, but the offense has to get going. And on the other side, the Phillies have the offense, but they have no pitching. It's and so off balance with the
Cincinnati's like the pitching and offense could be there if they figure out how to be at the same place at the same time.
Oh dear God, I feel like most of their wins.
You have this guy, you have that guy, but they can't do shit.
I feel like most of their wins are all mediocre. For whatever reason, when I see things like that, their wins are so mediocre. Like it does not add up.
And when you look at it, it's like Sonny Gray and Castillo should be able to compete with any duo in any.
They should. They should. Sonny Gray has done this before. Like they seriously.
Look at Joey Votto. Joey Votto's the MVP at first base. That literally the best thing he could do is he completed a triple play the other night.
Lord. That team years ago when they had Brandon Phillips and Jay Bruce and Joey Votto and freaking
Jay Bruce, he just retired.
Drew Stubbs leading off in center.
Drew Stubbs could have been something, man.
He seriously could have.
He could have been a contender.
FJ Bruce.
Not Jay Bruce, Drew Stubbs, man.
No, I'm just saying.
Still bases. He can hit home runs. My fantasy team 5 years ago wishes that he would have done what he could have done.
Oh my God. I was laughing so hard when I remember watching that video of Brandon Phillips getting out of the cleanup spot to go back to 2. And Dusty Baker's just sitting there laughing and smiling the whole time as he's losing his shit.
Brandon Phillips was a shit.
Okay, there was nobody who could make serious, sick plays at second than that dude. I mean, Cano makes him look so easy just by grounders to him, but athletic plays at second, Brandon Phillips all day.
Mets still only down 2, and we head into the 7th inning.
And what's so funny is that, or good God, even another underrated player, Ryan Ludwig. Jesus Christ, dude. That guy was so tall and lanky. I don't know how his approach was in the box, but he would hit the hell out of the ball.
You know who that reminds me of? That reminds me of Matt Holliday.
Yeah.
He was such a good hitter, but he never got the love. He's like a Larry Walker.
Oh, dude. Right-handed Larry Walker. But I loved it. Honestly, when I watched him, and even when I play softball right now, I loved his approach. Just how he'll just stay up, wait for it to come up, get the load, and then just let it all go.
Bro. I think that's when the Yankees signed him.
I think that's why I honestly love watching JD Martinez, because of that rubber band kind of hit that he does.
In fantasy baseball, that was one of the biggest rebounds people can get, and he was going in the 7th round.
I told people about JD.
It was one of the biggest rebounds you can get. Like I went all in for Glaber, and I'm just
He got
pissed off
disappointed.
that it wasn't for JD because, like you said, he is one of those just pure hitters who, for his whole career, he was great. He had one bad season. He said, "Guess what? That was a fluke. I'm back."
You might need to take some advices from me, man, because my fantasy lineup, dude. I mean, I would have Yohan Moncada right there, knowing that he was going to hit 300.
The draft for a reason. Everyone gets a shot at somebody.
It's true.
Anything you want, bro.
But I'm the type of guy that like. I'm smart about it. I need a guy to get up on base. I also need a guy that is a really good all around. He has really good.
When you're in fantasy, though, you get certain categories.
My two most important categories are average and RBIs.
Well, here's the thing: we've made the move. We move from average to on base percentage for guys like you.
Okay,
you would love that because you're like, guess what? I like those walks. Give me my walks.
I like the walks. I like the base hits. I like the aggression.
Yep.
And because home runs are only needed when you know for a fact you need to get back up into the game. And you're in a crucial situation.
Here's my question then, guys. Do you guys do fantasy football? What's going on here?
Oh, yeah.
Like, is the king allowed to join the party?
Bro, I joined.
I'll be real, bro. In redraft, I
joined Spotlight in the middle of towards the end of the season. So
I end the man. Like I'll let everyone. You can fight for second and third place. I think that's cool.
Here we go.
But like
Justin Herbert is going to have an MVP.
He sounds like a Yankee. This is a typical Yankee, just straight arrogance, man.
I'll take Josh Allen 2 rounds after that and just be good.
Typical Yankee fan, straight arrogance.
Oh God!
Look because Sam Darnold going at the end of the draft is going to have.
I was just about to say that too.
You're going to take him? You're going to take him this year?
Yo, if I'm getting Sam Darnold after I got every
quarterback, I may take him as my number 2 quarterback because in my league we would have like
Cam Newton and just pray on the waiver wire after that and be like, Trevor Lawrence is the guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, I'll be going 2 quarterbacks. Like, I'm trying to handicap myself now. Like, I feel like I'm Tiger Woods in his prime right now. Tiger Woods, y'all. So
you almost tried to make middle open.
He's safe.
Yeah. JD literally tried to make middle open.
Oh my God, that's out.
That's out. Safe. Shut up.
That's out.
He's safe. Shut up.
No, he really was. He really was. See,
this is why if I do Met games, I can't have Yankee fans on the commentary.
Listen, I just said your starting rotation is pretty lit. Us Yankees. I'm gonna be real. As a Yankee fan, we should be jealous of this starting rotation.
But you know what's so odd to me is that the Yankees since 2009 they missed a decade of even winning a championship in the 10s. But it's like people hate on that. But look at all the other teams though. Look at the Astros and the A's, the Dodgers, the freaking the teams that are just they're just reloading. They're building their potentials through their farm system. It's like we don't even necessarily talk about them.
The biggest
what do we really have to worry about?
We can't one get hitters that can hit with runners in scoring position because that's perennially our problem. We have great home run hitters. We got guys that can do great during the regular season.
BL, don't start with me. BL, you know for a fact that was never going to end up happening. You could thank Pep Hamilton for that.
Listen. Herbert's going to have a huge regression next year if Keenan Allen doesn't step up.
No. Keenan Allen is doing just fine. It's Mike Williams that really needs to step up. And
Mike Williams can't stay on the field. What are you talking about? He plays 4 games a year.
Tyron Johnson and Jalen Guyton all together had 1,500 receiving yards.
How many games did Mike Williams play last year? 6?
Yeah.
6,
barely
6,
but
we're playing 17 this year.
This is why that I said because Tyron Johnson and Jalen Guyton all together had 1,500 receiving yards, and they had literally 15 touchdown catches.
Is Justin Herbert the second coming of Dan Marino? Because that's the only way you can expect Justin Guyton, and whoever the hell you were saying to be putting up those kind of numbers. Because, like, goddamn, Austin Eckler better be catching like 150 balls this season because you don't have Hunter Henry. Who the hell is catching balls other than
Jared Cook?
Mike Williams, like you said, can't stay healthy. So who is Justin Herbert throwing to that you're expecting all of this from? And who is holding up that offensive line enough for him in that division, especially with great offenses? And I mean, I'm expecting the Raiders to be at least.
We finally addressed that problem after 30 years. The second we ended up getting Corey Linsley and Matt Filer, and then we ended up getting Oday Abuchi. We are finally figuring out the problem. We are finally figuring out this problem.
Can you beat the Raiders?
Yes.
No.
We've done this multiple times. Yes. No. Yes.
Hammer? Really? You don't agree?
You're not beating the Raiders.
Yes. Justin Herbert is 10 times better than Carr, though.
There we go.
And Keenan Allen is 10 times better than, Amari Cooper got traded. What do you have?
He's better than Waller? No.
Next year,
you're tight end.
Waller's a hybrid. He ain't just a tight end. I don't give a shit.
Let me tell you. When I see that bull rush with Bosa and friggin' Justin Jones and all them up in the middle, and they're getting to that broken down car, I'm gonna say
Raiders are waiting for that weak quarterback class to get that number one pick. I don't know what quarterback could be number one, but we get the number one pick. So you know,
you know what? It's funny you mentioned it because I actually, when we did one of the mock drafts, like Darian wanted to kill me. I drafted in the final round. I drafted a quarterback. I drafted Sam Ellinger out of Texas. And he was like, why would you do that? I'm like, bro, Mariota's on a 1-year deal. He could be a serviceable backup. Like, why the hell not?
And you know what's funny is that Sam Ellinger, what I'll tell people even as a Texan, like, he's got a strong arm.
He does. But I watched him. I'm a UT fan. I watched him throughout his college career. So I was like, why the hell not?
Dude, I'm telling you, after Vince Young, the most watched yet fun to watch guy that I've ever watched in college with Texas was Colt McCoy. Hands down.
Yeah.
But Vince Young versus
I'm telling you,
Liner,
I wish Colt McCoy would have went to Houston. If Colt McCoy went there, he was not going to have a shot with Dallas, not with Tony Romo. I wished, but Colt McCoy would have still been in Texas, and I think he would have put up better numbers.
He would have been a god.
I feel good for Colt McCoy. So go on the high note
because you're telling me, like, for Texan fans, you're telling me that you would have relied on Matt Schaub and Sage Rosenfels. Are you serious? And then Fitzpatrick in the middle of this thing.
Colt McCoy and Tim Tebow are the same kind of guy. Listen, they're not great.
No. I'm going to stop you there, Taco. I am going to stop you there. No freaking way. Tim Tebow didn't
deliver that playoff game versus Steelers.
Tim Tebow is not accurate. I am sorry. He does not have the arm strength. He is not that accurate for a lefty. Colt McCoy was accurate. He was right to the
playoff wins. Who has more playoff wins?
Who cares? We're not doing this.
Who beat the Patriots?
Taco, we're not doing this.
Steelers.
We are not doing this.
He beat the Steelers on a prayer.
I'm going to give that cross to the end zone for Tim Tebow. I ain't about that life, but I'm about that life.
We are not doing this because I know what's gonna happen next. Now you're gonna convince me that Mark Sanchez is a hell of a quarterback.
Listen, Mark Sanchez was definitely better than Sam Darnold.
See, Hammer knows. Hammer knows.
Mark Sanchez was better than Sam Darnold. I think
dear God.
That's fair. That's fair. Mark Sanchez was better than Derek Carr.
Josh McCown was better than freaking
Mark Sanchez was better than Derek Carr.
You're smoking meth.
Mark Sanchez.
You are smoking meth.
Everything the Raiders wished for.
You are smoking meth.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Mark Sanchez was definitely better than Derek Carr.
Happy 420 to you, bro. You're fucking stoned out of your mind right now.
Bro. Mark Sanchez, what? How many playoff games was he in?
How did those Jets make it to the playoffs?
Because Rex Ryan tattooed Mark Sanchez on his back. That's what he did, and that's how it happened.
You totally ghosted Bart Scott, man. You totally
Bart
ghosted
Scott,
that guy.
Bart Scott was a whole other animal. But Rex Ryan did tattoo Mark Sanchez all over his body.
Who is this pitcher coming in for the Cubs looking like a 70s porn star? Got the Dirk Diggler mustache and everything. What the hell?
Look.
Welcome to the jungle. Oh man.
No, it's not a rebuilding year. Can Gus Bradley get the defense ironed out? Yes.
Is that a hope or a prayer? I just
neither.
I appreciate the confidence, but that's not going to happen winning the AFC West. Not when you still have
the Chiefs
Mahomes there. And
I mean, God forbid the Broncos do something because they have a lot of talent.
Oh God, no.
I think the Broncos are an underrated team.
The Broncos, I feel like, are going to pull off some sort of trade, and they're going to end up getting a quarterback.
Bro, if they get Justin Fields,
they have to make it work.
Bro,
John Elway is on his last limb. He has
look
to make
at the options they have a wide receiver.
That's why they have to make the quarterback work. They were not like the Yankees. They were not prepared when it comes to their young kids.
Yes.
The second Peyton Manning retires, you're telling me that Trevor Seaman is your future quarterback. Then you tell me Brock Osweiler is, and then he took that 4-year deal to Houston and he busted. And then you have Case Keenum that really just you had the miracle year in Minneapolis, and that was it. He didn't have much more up into the tank, even though he's a guy that's really good to learn from on the backup spot, but he is not your guy to rely on. He's like Mark Brunell, like a guy that's going to come in at those times. But
so what do you do there then?
So what I do with it honestly, if I'm Denver, I'd be drafting a quarterback. I have to make this work.
Would you trade up or would you stay where you are?
I trade up.
Where are they at right now? They're like 10, right? Or
they're
like
at 10.
9.
They're either at they're 9. They are 9.
They might have a chance at either like the scraps of Mac Jones, Trey Lance, or
I'd be trading a pass rusher to getting up there.
Really?
Yes.
Now, would you do a deal? Who's sitting at 4? The Falcons, right?
The Falcons.
Would you trade up with the Falcons in order to get a quarterback?
Yes.
Or would you stay where you are?
Yes. Because the Falcons right now need to make up their mind. Are you taking a quarterback or are you taking a corner? Because they're in the worst spot in this draft.
Yeah.
At number 4. They really are.
I think the Giants and the Falcons are the
Oh my God, that looks like a modern day Goose Gossage, dude.
They both want to trade down.
Holy hell.
I'm telling you, dude. Dude looks like a porn star.
Bro, his back hair looks just
Is
like
this this is good. I think my parents are probably going to laugh so hard about this, but this almost looks like one of their neighbors who just moved, dude. Looks so much like him.
That was a very quick ending.
Andrew Chafin. Oh my God.
The right side of the mustache look a lot lower than the left side of the mustache.
It really does.
Like when he's walking up that field, I'm like, damn, bro, who's your barber?
Elmo right to short, throws this one, and down he goes. So there's the second out, and now we head to the 7th inning stretch, where it is still 3-1 Cubbies.
Jesus.
Oh, you do your stretch?
Yep.
Hammer, what's going on with the Mets? What do they need to do in order to come back?
They need bats.
Need a miracle?
Get Chapman.
Get Chapman.
Oh, hell.
Look at that. Nothing they can do on their roster right now would suffice.
It's not so bad. I really thought that was Vince McMahon there on that mega thing. I really thought that was him, but we're good. We're okay. That's not him.
Listen, man.
I was going to freak out if it was.
Man, listen, the one thing I gotta say about the Mets is why can't they score for DeGrom? Please tell me, Hammer. What is this deal with
this shit pisses me off? So don't even ask me that question. That's the one thing that drives me insane. Every single time I know he's pitching, I'm like, all right, fuck this. No decision. He's gonna get no run support.
They need to put Lindor in the 3. They need to put Lindor in the 3.
Right now?
Davis in the 2.
No,
Put Brandon Nimmo at leadoff.
no.
Who's hit? Where's Lindor hitting?
I
right
say
now?
Nimmo. I would put Nimmo leading off. He's doing really good as a leadoff. I'd put
He's been getting
McNeil.
great on base.
McNeil was batting second last year, and the year before
He's
was
hitting
solid.
7th right now.
Okay.
He's 6th tonight. I would put him second, then Lindor, then Alonso,
JD Davis
Smith,
5.
Conforto.
Oh,
Actually, no, I would go Smith,
another one
JD
player
Davis,
that's
then
not being
Conforto,
left
and then
out.
McCann.
Smith is being left out of the lineup way too much right now.
No, he's not. He's been in the lineup every day. Tonight he's batting third.
Okay, I didn't see the lineup, so I will not fight that. But I will say this though: Smith is one of those guys that you need in order to make it to somewhere.
Bro, offensively, for the last 2-3 years, he's led in every single category for the team. I'm like,
Bro, yes. Yo, Wilson Contreras has been on fire though.
Oh yeah, he has.
Like this is
Throw your elbows out there and get on base.
why does the fountain in Kansas City gone?
No, it's still there.
That shit just looked non-existent just now.
No, it's still there.
Yo, have you guys played MLB The Show?
Can you
I
stop
haven't played
asking that
I haven't
stupid
played
question?
I not played the new one, but I do have 20.
In Diamond Dynasty, they have Jerry Familia as a 50 saves guy. So he's one of the best closers in the game right now.
Are you really going to speak about this? It almost sounds like Jose Valverde's.
No, because we're not talking about MLB The Show because I
Diamond
can't play right now. Shut up.
Another game. It's like a fantasy baseball team that
Jury's Familia just feels like Jose Valverde, in my opinion.
Listen, for a while, Jose Valverde was good. For
For
a while.
Papa Grande, my ass.
Man, listen, they were close with Jose.
That freaky delivery of his was like, what the hell is that?
Man, listen, I grew up watching El Duque. So, freaky deliveries to me are nothing.
Well, El Duque was different.
He had the best delivery ever.
Oh, absolutely, he did. That's why I'm like, I'm not hating on that.
Him and Hideo Nomo were generational type.
I think you know what though, the only person that I knew that had a really good standard delivery yet knew how to close out games, Rafael Soriano.
Ooh, the old pitcher from Seattle.
From Seattle to Tampa
to
Washington.
Where is he now though?
Retired now.
He was in the Yankees for a little bit.
He was with the Yankees for a little bit.
His time when
I loved Soriano. I loved Soriano closing, dude. He was good.
I remember Rivera was he should be the next closer, and then we got Chapman shortly after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, BL just said the same thing. I think they built over a majority of the fountains. That shit just looked non-existent when they showed that clip.
They built
That's fucked up. See, these people, these teams are killing some of the stadiums and some of the awesome things that they had in the stadiums. Houston.
Everything has become streamlined.
Yeah, Dallas Hill.
At least they still have the train on the top, though. That's cool.
So getting at least a quick refresh of all of the current games and even the past games happening today. Of course, Pittsburgh and Detroit was postponed earlier. The Boston Red Sox ended up winning yet another game and still red hot, 4-2 against the Toronto Blue Jays. Then the Giants beating the Phillies 10-7. Washington coming back to beating St. Louis 3-2. Baltimore beating Miami 7-5. The Yankees beating the Braves 3-1. A's and the Twins. A's win 7-0 in game one of the doubleheader, as we are already 1-0 in game two. White Sox beating the Indians 8-5. Dodgers beat the Mariners 1-0. And current game still going on. Scoreless right now in San Diego between them and the Brewers. Then it's 1-0 Angels over Texas. Houston on top of Colorado 1-0. Then Tampa and Kansas City 9-5. Arizona 5-4 against Cincinnati. And of course the 1-0 game in game two between the A's and the Twins.
Can Familia hold the lead right here in order to get the Mets in order?
That was actually a really good pitch he threw to Rizzo. That had some good movement.
Yeah, but the one thing about Familia lately, especially, was Familia the closer for the Mets when they faced the Royals in that World Series?
with that Alex Gordon.
Familiar.
Talk about fountain shot with Alex Gordon.
My side. You're a fucking asshole.
I didn't realize until I looked at your face, bro. But yes,
Oh my
Familia has
God,
the
man.
upside right now.
I fucking hate you.
Listen, I'm just bringing up history. I'm sorry.
Fucking talking shit.
It's just
Familiar.
funny when it happens like that.
Fucking prick, man.
It's not me, I swear.
It's you. He's talking about the World Series in 2015. Like, who's that closer? You know who the closer was, Mr. fucking baseball savant.
Bro,
The
bro,
fuck?
can I tell you?
Baseball
I was
almanac,
driving in my
almanac.
car home from work, and I'm in a group chat with a bunch of Mets fans.
I watched that game playing softball when it was live and just seeing Alex Gordon just go yah right there.
Did you know that Jeris Familia blew like 4 saves in a row or 3 saves? I'm sorry.
Dear.
Believe it? No, it
Never.
doesn't
Was it
surprise
3 or
me.
4?
The one
was
Met
3, right?
moment, the one Met moment that kills me more than anything else was
Beltran looking.
yes.
Yeah.
Or Castillo dropping the ball.
No,
Oh,
that was
my
regular
God.
season. I didn't care about that shit. That
Drop the ball.
was just retarded.
A-Rod scores.
But Beltran, man, this was
Oh,
shortly
dear
after I moved to Florida, and I was watching the game, and when I was at work, I lost my shit. I was so pissed off.
Man, listen. Is that really worse than what Familia did in the World Series with the Royals?
It's up there.
Because you were 3 games within winning the World Series, and he blew like 3 games.
Listen, the A's can't even get to a World Series.
That's
and
why I
they're-
don't understand why they signed
Yankees
Familia to a
can't get
3-year, $36 million deal. He ain't worth that.
And what's so
Who's not
unfortunate,
worth it?
Familia, 3-year, $36 million? Hell no.
Bro, Brody Van.
I would have,
Dumbass.
you know what? I would have brought Big Sexy back and put him as a setup man. I wouldn't give a
dear
shit.
God, not
Oh,
that
that's a
fat,
great play,
not
though.
that fat fuck. Are you
Nice.
serious?
Oh, no,
Hold
it's
on,
not.
hold on. What do you
Again,
think
what is
Lindor
going
for?
on tonight?
Hold on. What are you paying Lindor for? Are you paying him to just color his hair and like talk to the
Fuck
media?
off. Fuck off.
Is that what we're
Shut
doing?
up.
At what point can we compare Lindor to Judge?
That was the
Because-
first one he's had. That's the first error he's
Or
had.
Stanton. Hold on, can we compare him to Stanton? Because Stanton in the playoffs delivered. Fucking Lindor has done nothing.
Oh my
Let me
God.
let me just tell you this for all of you kids learning baseball: the arrow doesn't hit the target. The target is what draws the arrow, and if you don't throw that ball right, if you don't see that target right there and throw and let the ball lead it, that is not gonna make you plays there.
Oof. God damn Lindor.
Yeah,
Oof.
I'm totally about to remove him from this freaking live in a second.
Listen, I'm just responding what Jake said. It was
I've always told this when I was first base and stuff, because I'm always doing this every time.
Listen, Jake is speaking, and I'm like, wow, that's a great point, Jake.
That's true. You got more shovel for that shit?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
Hope you fall off that fucking chair.
On the chair.
Let's go, Familia. How does Brewer do it?
Oh God.
Hammer, enlighten me. How does Brewer La Familia? Like, what was his?
Okay, we're out of the inning. Shut the fuck up.
All right.
He got the jock. He got the jock.
He actually got the job done.
All right.
Mets do up Lindor, Dominic Smith, and Pete Alonso. God help me.
What are the odds that Lindor gets on base?
Oh my God.
I'm just asking on base.
He got on base tonight already.
On
Shut the fuck up.
I would say a 30% chance.
I'm gonna stab you.
So at the end of 7, it's still 3-1 Cubs from here, and hoping for some life for the Mets coming up into the top of the half of the 8th.
What is Lindor's average on the season? Can I ask?
Yo,
Anyone know? Because I'll pull it up. I will pull up Lindor's average because I don't know if we want to know it or not.
and I'll get some Vagisil for fucking Judge. Shut up.
Listen. This is not how I met Irene. We don't need Vagisil. This is not aisle 5.
He needs something for that case of vaginitis that he has. Every other minute, he's hurt.
Listen. Aaron Judge is his own thing. This is Mets. We're talking Mets here. I'm just asking what Lindor's average is because I know I'm going to be honest with you. Yankee fans right now are ridiculous. The fact that we're throwing balls onto the field right now is absolutely insane.
The fact that
What
we're throwing fake trash,
do we look like?
the fact that we're
Lindor's
throwing
batting
fake
179 right now, right?
Jesus Christ.
fact that
When do we win?
The fact that we're throwing fake trash cans to the Astros is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
That I agree with. Balls in Yankee Stadium, I don't agree with.
Yeah, no.
Those guys need to stop. Trash cans at Astros? Yes.
Yes.
Keep that going. And Lindor batting 180, but they're talking about him better than Judge. Let's please keep that going.
Who is saying that? Who is saying that? Because I sure as hell have not. Who is saying that?
Ricky.
God, I loved it that I watched
Who?
that I see Mitch
Judge
Moore.
better than Lindor?
Wait, who said that? Ricky?
Lindor better than Judge? Ricky.
Oh, okay. Well, that was Ricky. That wasn't me.
So you're saying that Judge is better than Lindor?
I'm not saying anyone's better than the other. The season just started. The fuck?
Listen.
God,
how you feeling?
I love the look that Mitch Moreland had 2 homers in the game against the
I saw
Twins.
the
and
highlights.
Matt
That shit was, oh my
Olson
god.
with a grand slam.
Notable offseason acquisitions. First month for the team. Bobby Bonilla. What a player.
Odd no.
Carlos Delgado. Did you? Let's talk, buddy.
Andy Chavez's greatest catch.
Jason Bay.
Oh dear God, no.
Jason Bay was the worst fucking signing ever.
And then
When
he goes to the
Jason Bay
Red
was
Sox
with
and
the
he starts
Pirates.
hitting homers. What the hell?
All right, Lindor needs to draw a walk here.
He drew a walk his last at bat.
Well, I'm talking about right here when you're down 2 runs in the 8th inning.
Yeah,
You need to draw a walk here.
you need something to get going here in
Yes.
this part of the inning.
Yes.
And especially when
You're
you've
paying
got
$300 million, get a walk. I'm not saying get a home run, get a walk. Just
get on base any way you can.
Yeah.
A walk or a base
Exactly.
hit.
Oh.
God. But I will say though, really though, what a year it is right now, starting off for Trey Mancini. He is looking super healthy, and I'm happy for him.
This pitcher looks like John C. Riley.
Bro.
Josh Bell literally just hit his first home run this year. Are you serious?
What did you say?
And he just got Lindor out. Lindor out.
Yeah, I'm not doing games the rest of the season.
Listen, bro. Listen. I'll be honest.
Hey, wait a minute. The A's were freaking 1-7 to start the season. Now we're 10-7.
Yankees lost like 5 in a row. We're shit. We're the worst team in America.
We're in first place in our division, and yet you're talking a ton of shit.
But that
Buster Posey with 2 home runs. Good. Thank God he's back.
Jesus Christ.
Wow,
Chaffin.
really?
Yep.
What a pitch by Chaffin. Break that down for me.
Why
Jay.
would you swing it?
How did that look?
I thought that looked fabulous.
Shit was up at his eyes.
I mean, if you're Chaffin.
If you're chafing, you're chafing.
Chafing.
Are you chafing?
Wow.
Jay?
You got to hit.
That is
Fuck
a
you.
great hit by Smith. This is why I talk about Smith. That is right underneath his hands. 2 pitches ago, we were just talking about that. He couldn't get to that. That's a great pitch by Chafin. And just right now, he pulled his hands in. He was able to get his bat to the ball and just get a single, get on base, and let the next man do what he has to do. Because guess what? You're down by 2. So it doesn't matter. You need at least 1 man on base. That's a great play by Smith. This is what I'm saying. Smith is underrated.
We were just talking about Jesus Luzardo, and right now he's got 4 1/3 innings pitched, and he's got 4 Ks.
Oh my God. Can I tell you, Jesus Luzardo is one of those guys that you just look at and you're like, oh, please. Just live up to the
execute.
Oh, God.
Execute, for God's sake.
Like,
What the fuck?
like 3 years in a row, he screwed me. Like, I'm just like, every year, I'm like, oh, Luzardo, a lefty that has a great fastball. He can throw a slider. He's a guy that's just supposed to be throwing innings, and he has good velocity. Yeah, this is the guy. And never.
I was more up with the ow. A lot. Damn it, Petey. Yeah, that one hurt.
You know who's one pitcher that I really think that once he gets out of his situation is going to be
Oh,
really
and
good?
I was honestly hyping up for AJ Puck. I was really hyping for that
He's been
kid.
bad.
But then he got hurt, and then now he's back again, and I'm just like, will he have the same mechanics?
I think Marquez is one of those guys where if he can get out of Colorado, I think he can be because he has the stuff that can play. You have a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. You have some off-speed pitches. Your control isn't horrible, but you're playing in Colorado.
You're playing in a hitter-friendly park.
Right. And think about it. Guys like Story and Arenado and DJ LeMahieu had their hitting value decline.
Carlos Gonzalez, and
Like,
then
bro, like literally when they went to negotiate contracts, they were lowered so much because of the hitting influence. But guys like John Graham Marquez are not getting the same kind of bump on their pitching when you look at their splits, especially with their splits, because they've done great on the road. But when they're in that ballpark that does skew towards hitters, they're not performing, but they're not getting the contract, understanding that's going on. I just feel like that's a big mistake, and I hope the Yankees go for a guy like Marquez out of the Rockies because I think he's a pitcher that's really undervalued right now in the league because he has that good velocity, he has some good breaking stuff.
Alonso reached. I knew the second he turned his body early. Just stay relaxed. He literally just turned his body early, waited for the pitch, and yep.
How many outs do you have?
You got 2 outs.
Yep. It's a big at bat. Conforto.
Yep, Conforto.
I mean, this guy wants $150 million, right, Hammer?
No. Apparently, Boris is trying to get him closer too, which I don't get.
Well, I mean, he delivers here. You know, fans can start getting behind it. But if he doesn't deliver here, nobody's going to be getting
2 strikeouts.
This is a big, like literally for his money. This is a big at bat.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
Are you fucking?
That was 92.
Wait, what? How did? So it looks as though that the A's and the Twins game has been postponed. It's been delayed.
Is there rain?
Apparently so. In Oakland.
Really? Oh boy. Oh boy.
They said it's been delayed and they got to make wow. Interesting. Well, still plenty of time with that. So here's the 0-2 to Conforto. And Chavin tried to get him to chase, but would not bite. 1-2.
It's a big pitch right here. Oof.
This game is over the 3 hours. No kidding.
Meet the Mets. I'm not going to lie. The Yankees suck right now. The Yankees, I'm not going to lie. I thought that Diego or Domingo Germán would be so much better than he was. And he hurt me.
Right back to the pitcher, and that is going to end that top half of the inning.
He hurt me so bad.
So Chapin gets through an inning, and it's still 3-1 Cubs as we head to the bottom half of the 8th.
Think about that, though. It's still only 3-1 in the 8th inning. That pitching staff is doing what they need to do in order to put themselves in a position to win.
But that's where you got to be pissed at the offense because they're not getting themselves on base and finding ways to score.
Right. And I mean, when you think about guys like Lindor, who they went and they traded all the prospects for and who they gave all the money to, you know, I'm not going to lie. He needs to lead the rally because when you look at it on the Yankee side, this guy, Giancarlo Stanton, is getting hated on. We
got another delay right now in Cincinnati as it's 4-4 tied between them and the Diamondbacks. So another delay.
The Diamondbacks are such an interesting team because I feel like they always have prospects, and the prospects come and go for them. And
it always happens with them.
Yeah, did they trade Zach Gallen for Jace Chisenhall? from the Marlins.
Yeah.
And then, like, when you look at Zach Gallen, then he got hurt, and then he's going back, and he's good. And it's just like, I just don't understand what the Diamondbacks are doing, because you had him, you traded him, and you traded for him back. Like, why would you trade him if you thought he was that good to begin with? Like, what's your game plan? And I just think that's one of those teams where it's like they have talented players, but they just don't know what to do with it.
But that's kind of like how it is with Colorado. They always have the talented players, and they don't know what the hell to do
Matt
with them.
Holiday, Larry Walker,
Andres Galarraga,
Troy
Tulowitzki,
Trevor Story,
Kenny
Blackman.
Castilla. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of happy MLB owners.
I don't like that, bro. Like that's violation, bro.
Like that is rude.
Like, bro, like perennially we're in the playoffs. Even when we have our down years, we're still in the playoffs.
So Cubs bullpen so far, as we're looking at it from the stats, 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. This Cubs bullpen's really been making it happen here against the Mets. And as we're going to the bottom of the 8th inning, we'll see how the top of the 9th really shapes up.
Wait, did the Giants just beat the Phillies? Or is that game almost over?
I'm gonna just wear my hat like this the rest of the night. Rally
Yeah, the
cap.
Giants did beat the Phillies 10-7.
The Phillies to me are one of the most disappointing teams right now, especially with guys like Braum and Zach Wheeler. They're not playing good.
And Aaron Nola, yeah.
Oh, great! Now Trevor May is in 4 games.
But I've always said this about the Phillies, though, because they waited so long with the rotation, and they waited so long with the offense that they had that was not the same anymore, that they couldn't even build upon. Like, where the hell is that one young kid, Jonathan Pettibone? Where the hell is that kid?
They can't even
disappeared.
Spencer Howard or any of their young pitchers that they were developing, because lo and behold, Spencer Howard should at least right now be at least a number 3.
And then you believed in offense in a guy named Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Or Reese Hoskins, who really is the definition of Jason Sciambi with less average. Like, that's what he is. He's Jason Sciambi with less average.
God, oh, God.
Reese he was good for the Athletics or for the Yankees. But goddamn, once they figured out he was roiding, he went down fast.
Yep.
And Trevor May, I like Trevor May as a pitcher, but the question is, are the Mets going to be able to score enough throughout the season in order to win? Because they have a great pitching staff. They have a better pitching staff than the Yankees. Like, I'm a Yankee fan, and I'll admit that. You have a better pitching staff than us. But the question is, can your guys hit with runners in scoring position? Can you get on base? And that's a great pitch by May.
Nice.
But when you think about it and you look at some of these, these team offenses, I mean, the Dodgers are loaded with offensive guys. They're also, I mean, you got the Padres that, they're starting to really load themselves up. I mean, even the Red Sox have even been an offensive team. And we just talked about this, Hammer, about how, like, the only way the Red Sox can really compete is if they catch fire, and they're already doing this.
Yeah.
But can you really expect JD Martinez to do worse than he did last year?
No.
Like, that was the worst year of his career.
That's why I'm just like, I'm not even worried about last season with JD, because I know that
the biggest question was do you think Devers and Bogarts are able to keep up what they've been able to do?
I think Bogarts, yes.
Devers, yes. Weird.
But
Devers
also
weird.
Bobby Delbeck is going to be another kid that's going to be
at
really
first
good.
base. Yeah. He has great potential.
But for God's sakes, Michael Chavis really needs to get back on the heap of things, because I do like his potential.
But are they still really using Nathan Eovaldi as like one of their top starting pitchers to be able to do that and survive?
Because they're without Chris Sale.
He should be back though by the All-Star break at least. And I think that's one thing that the Red Sox have, is that if this offense can keep it up until a guy like Sale comes back, that's scary. And I'll be honest, the Yankees, let's be real, they had to have Eric Sogard is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs tonight. That's kind of like the Mets are having. Like, Eric Sogard got 2 RBIs, and just
a simple guy that's just been hitting.
Yeah, like, He was a big Angels guy. He was a Mike Madden guy.
Yep.
All right. Is Kimbrel coming out here?
I think he is.
This is gonna be scary if I'm the Cubs. Like I don't
McNeil, Davis, McCann.
I don't trust Kimbrel, to be honest. Like he's
Oh,
not someone that I trust.
Kimbrel is definitely not the same like he was in Atlanta.
Yeah, because let's put it like this: if he was that good, the Braves would have signed him. Because let's face it, the Braves are one of the smartest organizations in baseball.
They
get
are.
hated on a lot. Because to be able to sign Acuna to that number, either his representation is the stupidest in baseball, or they were able to play everything up just the right way.
Yeah, I mean, but even so, they even got a hell of a steal for Marcelo Zuna with that cheap of an extension contract. Yes.
I don't even know what they're paying Freddie Freeman, but think about that.
They paid Freddie Freeman like 8 years on his contract, and they're paying him a good amount.
You have Freeman, Osuna, Ozuna, and Ozuna, every kind of Spanish there is. Plus, you got Albies, and
yep,
that's
Ozzy
a
Albies.
rotation that's scary. And they got Morton.
But they've got to figure third base out because it's a toss-up between Austin Riley and Yohan Camargo.
That's
the
such
only
a
thing.
weird question. I feel like that's where guys like Gio Urshela really
because I felt like Donaldson because they gave him literally a year. Yeah. And they should have given him at least an extension to hold it. Yeah.
I think the Twins could be one of those teams that, yes, we're not looking at them at the World Series right now, but you have guys like who
I can't hype about them until they win a series, man, because they were all about the home runs.
Yes.
That's the thing. Yes. They were so in love with the home runs, but where's Buxton when he needs to get on base?
Yes.
Where is Kepler when we need doubles in the gaps? Because leave the home runs to Nelson Cruz and Josh Donaldson. That's it.
But they still have like you said, they have Donaldson, they have
Miguel Sano.
Sano, yes.
Dear God, I like watching Mitch Garver.
What's the dude that starts with the A? Garver is the catcher, but the Arise, there's a hitter that they have he's not the best like power hitter, but he's a good contact hitter.
I'm wondering where Jorge Polanco's at. Because I hadn't seen him play, and he's usually playing short.
That I'm not sure about.
But here we go. Craig Kimbrel now 7 innings he's pitched, no ERA recorded, and has only had a 30% ground ball percentage and a 12.5 walk percentage, but most of the time at 45 has been strikeout percentages this year in only just about 6 games he is pitched.
How iconic, though, is his setup and delivery?
Oh, it's so iconic.
The way he, sets it. And not
with his weird-looking claw.
But he can't find a strike zone for anything right now. And they've put in their defensive guys, so it's not like if the Cubs can make it out this inning, they're going to have their guys behind them. They need to get out of this inning.
So, of course, having...
Is that pine tar or what's on the top of his brim? Is he one of those guys?
Yeah, he's probably one of those guys.
Because, I mean, listen.
Jake Marisnick moves out there to center field. Ian Happ goes right to left. And still keeping Jason Hayward there in right.
So far, Kimbrel has even found a strike zone. He's still 3-0 right now on the first batter he's facing. And I think that's a real problem for you Cub fans, because if he can't find the strike zone on the first batter, what's going to happen with the second?
Yep, that's location and control. And right now, he's not finding the control, at least to start this off.
Yeah. It's scary, but I also think that's been the problem with him right now for his last couple of seasons, and why the Red Sox wouldn't pay the money for him. And I think that's a real big.
Well, even the Red Sox, maybe even the Braves wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, good God, he stunk it with the Padres.
Yeah, like big teams who have money and are spending money said, guess what? You can go to somebody else. Like, yeah, you can still throw 96, but I don't trust you because you don't have the control. Like, you can throw occasionally in the zone, but you can't control where that ball goes.
And this is why that I kept saying that I think that Rafael Soriano, and he still kept playing, would have been really good as a closer and just he was just simple. Close games out, get control, get location, and just get out of those innings and close it up.
But
and
that's also
so
why I think like guys like Zach Britton and Adam Ottavino not going to the Mets.
And Squirrel takes first base.
Instead of trading for a guy like Edwin Diaz would have been a much better move because the Mets had cap space to spend. They didn't need to trade for a guy like Cano. They didn't need
The
a
Mets
guy
had
like
what?
What?
They had what?
You didn't need to make that trade for Edwin Diaz.
Jeff
You said
McNeil
cap
takes
space,
the
bro.
walk.
What happened?
You said cap space.
Yes, you had cap space at that point in time.
There's no salary cap.
There's no
There's
salary
no
cap
luxury
baseball.
There is a
Look at
luxury
that
cap.
fifth inning. Oh my goodness, that ball was crushed by J.D. Davis, and the only lone run that the Mets have, and we'll see what happens from here in this top of the ninth inning with J.D. up. But man, I'm telling you, that was a beautiful swing. It was just right there on target. That thing was carrying.
Listen, the only thing I noticed right now is Craig Cramble's stain on the middle of his cap.
But this is also why that I said, because look, 417, bro, I would have put him at 2. And so I'm like, if you look again, I'm watching his approach at the plate. Because that there is telling me his approach, and be honest with me, Hammer, that's a doubles approach.
But his approach isn't better than a guy
That's
like
why I'm just like, I have a leadoff guy who could just slap hit, get on base, get base hits, and then have J.D. Davis be a guy that's going to push for the gaps so that by the 3 through 5, those are my run producers.
But
those are my guys that are going to score runs.
You would hit them over a guy like Conforto, though?
Yeah.
I don't know. Conforto, when he's right, is a great guy.
But that's why you have to continuously either put him at 6 or you have to put him at 7 to get it right.
No way for Conforto at 6.
Yeah.
Conforto's a great on-base guy when he's right. And that's the big thing. You want on-base guys ahead of Pete Alonso because Pete Alonso's more of a power guy. So it's the same thing that the Yankees do. We're trying to put Hicks there.
That's why, honestly, JD is a mixture of base hits and power. That's
why he's perfect at 5 behind the power guy, because if your guys are able to walk and have that on-base percentage that you want, like the Oakland Athletics built their teams on, it should.
But here's what's funny: you could
guys runners at second and third, where all you need is a single, and you can get the RBIs. So I think.
But this was the thing, though, is because without Chris Davis, like how they had Yoenis Cespedes, you didn't have that 4 guy that was just for power, just for hitting the home run.
Pete Alonso to be that guy,
right? And ultimately, the 5 hole you could put Olsen or Chapman in there.
I don't know. Be honest, and I would want him to be hitting 3 because I want him to get the most at bats on this team. And I'd probably hit Lindor second.
There was nowhere that pitch was going to go by. Jeez. So just like that, J.D. Davis swinging and missing on that check swing, and that's what is going to get the out in the inning.
So as a Met fan, signing James McCann to the money that you did, and I don't know how to say it, but most Met fans expected the Mets to spend a lot of money in the offseason. Do you regret not getting a guy like JT Realmuto over a guy like JD Davis, or do you think that JD Davis should be able to hold down the fort and be the guy that you expect?
There apparently were rumors out there that fucking Cohen made a promise to all the owners if he was able to get the Mets that he in his first season was not going to go past that luxury tax threshold.
Really? That's huge because JT Realmuto, I feel like, is the perfect guy to put at number 3 for the Mets.
Yep. Well, that was the story that was going around, and I'm pretty convinced, especially with the shit that they did trying to get. They didn't get Hand, they didn't get Bauer, they didn't get Springer.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. They played very conservative this offseason, and I mean,
well, and of course, there's always the trade deadline that's right there, and so who knows if the Mets would be active in the trade deadline? But we'll have to see the results.
They will be. They're going to trade Conforto.
I will say this though. I mean, if you're in New York, like me and Hammer are, there was a lot of buzz for the Mets to make a lot of moves during this offseason and actually be better than the Yankees. Like, there was, like, when I say, like, this is a New York thing, but there was that talk. Hammer, can you not agree with that?
There was.
And that's kind of where, as a GM, I look at them because they had moves they can make this offseason. And if it's true where they're handicapped, where they're not going past the luxury tax, it makes sense then. Because to me, there's no way. Bauer should have been on this team. Bauer definitely should have been on this team. Or a guy like Springer should have been on this team. Or
Springer's been getting hurt a lot. So I'm kind of glad we didn't do that.
Because
think about that. That's risk over reward.
Yeah, because it's only cash. It's not spending your picks. It's not losing draft capital.
That's why that I said that those under the radar guys like Kevin Pillar and Albert Almora was probably the smartest thing that they could do.
I have not seen Almora touch the field yet this season.
That's not a good sign. You need to get Almora out there on that field.
Look at Kimbrel, though, right now. He's struggling. And the Cubs signed him to
another walk.
Like, I don't trust what the Cubs are doing on the back end of the bullpen. I think this is one of the hardest.
Because the Cubs the rotation in their bullpen was so screwed the second after they won the championship. Because they didn't even keep it or build upon it at all. They didn't. That's the one thing I learned about with the Cubs, because you could have easily traded
putting Almora pinch run
or pitching and prospects.
The Cubs didn't have the potential to go that deep. They were
Almora is now pinch running.
What pitcher that the Cubs had do you expect to last for 5 years? Not Lester, not Cueto.
No.
Not Arrieta.
Oh dear God! Cueto.
Yeah, they had Cueto for a little bit. The Cubs.
No, they didn't.
Was it the White Sox that had Cueto?
No. Cueto was a red because
Cueto was a red.
Cueto was a giant.
Royal. He was a Royal and a giant.
I'm sorry, Quintana.
Yeah, but Quintana had problems. That's why I'm like, when I saw the Angels get him, I was just like, well, there you go.
Better other than 1 year they did it.
So now Luis Guillorme is coming in this situation with runners at first and second with one out here in the ninth.
When did the Cubs really have that pitching staff other than the 1 year they won the championship?
Oh, man, Mike Montgomery had the weight of the pen in 2016. Oh, boy.
And you know what? I rolled this chat just like the Yankees. He blew shit. Because for the Cubs, he blew that game until fucking another reliever came in for the
But then what would you say about Pedro Strop when it came to setting games up in the eighth?
Listen, Pedro Strop's splitter was nasty.
That really was.
Listen, he is one of those guys where it's like, I want to bring up AJ Burnett for the Yankees when we won our championship.
That was a good slider. That was a really good slider. The only one pitch that Kimbrel threw that was actually beautiful.
Listen, Kimbrel's one of those one guys where thank God the Yankees never signed him because I don't trust him.
No.
I don't trust him. He can't. Like, if you gave him 20 pitches, 12 of them are going to be balls.
I think if there was one guy that really people whiffed on, it's Blake Trinan.
For the Dodgers right now that went from the Athletics, I definitely agree with you. I think he's one of those guys that's really good.
That 100-mile-an-hour splitter he threw that one time with the A's, good God, that thing was nasty.
The crazy thing about Kimbrel is that he's 0 earned runs allowed in his last 14 appearances, but with the way he's not able to control his pitches,
that's not going to last. That's why I'm like, that ERA is not going to last long.
But still, 14 innings to last that long is pretty impressive.
Yeah, but eventually,
yeah.
I mean, but eventually that might change.
I agree, and eventually it might be tonight.
And we'll see.
I mean,
1-2 for Guillorme. Here it comes. Oh man, I was waiting for that umpire. Nope, sit back down. Don't throw. I was like, dude, don't do this. You better put those freaking hands away.
Go.
Hey!
Bases loaded.
We have a game, boys.
So we got ourselves a game.
Bases loaded with 1 out.
And now Brandon Nimmo is up to bat.
So we're back to the top half of the order from here with Guillorme's base hit into left.
That was great, though. That was
all right. The Mets were in this position. The Mets were in this position before. Now let's see exactly if they'll score the runs.
But tell me, that wasn't a great hit by Guillaume because that was
a good hit.
Hands, and he took it the other way in order to move everyone over. And I think that's the biggest problem in baseball. People don't do that. Move the runner over. This is not about you hitting a home run.
But also
you know I'm about that.
But you know what's funny is it's simple hitting.
Yes,
all it is
they don't do it.
Pokers into the grass. That's all you need.
Oh,
fuck! Foul ball.
If Chicago wins, I will donate you $10. I swear. Really, Beasley?
Drops down at the plate. They can double play him easily.
I'd love the $10.
Like, bro.
I mean, that's a bargain deal.
Bro.
Here we go. Nimmo down the line and left that foul.
What are the odds that the Mets get a hit here, Hammer?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just asking your opinion.
You got his hopes so high, and now look,
I got my rally cap on. Shut up.
The chats are almost close to double digits right now. Let's go.
If you get a double right here, you're like almost there.
So that was the first hit allowed this season after 20.
Shit. No, he didn't.
Nimmo!
He went.
Finding Nimmo. I guess he wasn't finding that pitch.
Keep swimming, motherfucker.
Bases loaded. 1 out. 2 strikes.
This one you cannot go down with bases loaded and 1 out.
Where's Henry Rowan? Where's Henry Rowan Gardner?
That's 86 up. What kind of pitch was that you throw 86 up? That had to be a misplaced, like, off-speed pitch, right?
That was a misplaced.
86 up like that. Yeah. Like, there has to be a bad curveball or splitter.
That was lost control of grip.
Yeah, because that should have been a pitch that Nimmo should have singled up the middle.
Oh, yeah. Even just a base hit to left.
Yeah. That was his pitch.
Yep. That was honestly the slapper to left.
Yeah, that was a pitch you could take.
Like that's honestly a softball pitch waiting to happen. Just to slap
and Nimmo strikes out. So
Nimmo
0 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight. Congratulations.
That's what he should have hit, like we were talking about.
So here we go, and now you've got Francisco Lindor coming up.
Oh, look,
with the bases loaded.
Don't worry, Lindor is on fire. Lindor is on fire.
Kicking you out. That's it. I'm tired of shit.
Yo, honestly, Lindor's gonna double right here. Don't worry. I got you, bro.
And Francisco Lindor, who's no stranger in these situations, especially in the times.
And that's the game.
What happened? Someone give me the break. What's the play-by-play?
Okay.
So here we go.
0 for 14 with runners in scoring position.
One swung on and grounded right to Rizzo, flips it over to Kimbrel, maybe not, as he goes right to first, and that is your ball game, folks.
Wait, who hit that?
Final score tonight, the Cubs ended up winning 3-1 over the New York Mets, and what a night it has been for them. And just simple hits, only about 1 home run that was given up, and the Cubs ended up becoming victorious in Wrigley.
Okay, Saturday night, UFC 261, Usman versus Masvidal 2. I got my boy Chris Weidman on the card versus Uriah Hall. There's 2 other title fights. We will be live doing a little prediction show at 9:30, and then we're going right into the main card at 10 o'clock. So, guys, you don't want to miss this. This is the second fight in the last 3 months where we have 3 title fights on one card. Another big moves Dana White's making for 2021. And yes, they will have fans in Jacksonville this coming Saturday night. You don't want to miss this pay-per-view event. And if you can't watch it, obviously, fuck it. If you can watch it, come in and watch us because our commentary is better than freaking DC and the rest of the fuckboys over there at UFC. Just saying, sorry, not sorry. we're out. I got to be back up for one of 3 straight 16-hour shifts. So yeah, we're signing off. Wash your hands, wash your asses. Thanks, Taco, for coming in and being a pain in the ass tonight.
I love you, bro.
You fucking retard. We are out, people.